I like the square. So like old school, like Mercedes Benz
Like
or
Legit.
what BMW then adopted
Yeah.
from the old Mercedes. That's where I'm at. Like, give me a shoebox. I want a shoebox and I want to drive around.
You wanted to look like an electric shaver and.
Yeah. Like that GW. You know that GW? Like, I made this out of deodorant.
Yeah.
I want that.
See, my favorite car is actually a GTO, which is yeah. Go ahead.
That's a 40K reference.
Yeah.
Drink.
No.
That's drink.
See, we have our own drinking game on RantCast, and it's anytime we go on a tangent, and that could get people like severely inebriated because I don't even know what the topic is tonight.
Are you supposed to like drink through the whole rant, or just at the when you realize it's a rant?
When you realize you've gone down a rabbit hole. Usually, if I had a real production value, I'd actually have like a little tracker in the corner when we get off topic, and it's almost always me doing it, not my guests.
Never. Your guests like, okay, I'm looking at my show notes.
Well,
let's go.
When I have Martin Orlando on, he like keeps me on task. It's like he's the host. So I'm just expecting Tristan to like host this one and like do all the heavy. See, when you're doubling up on episodes, you got to have like the easy episode and the hard episode. And like I'm just assuming since Tristan's here, it's going to be the easy episode.
He does like to talk.
I am incredibly easy.
God damn it.
Hey,
Dayton, did you just make that joke too?
Nope.
No, you should have.
I know.
I didn't.
So, there we go. Chat gang.
I'm off my game.
Yeah.
Chat gang.
Yeah.
Chat gang killers. What do we got?
Party.
What do we got?
Horizons Lackey says party. Yeah, did I say that right?
Part A.
Party at the Meph-Points.
In the every. There you go.
Party at the Meph-Points.
I got an alert that you just went live. Nice.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Fries are done.
Shoot.
Did it auto tweet? Did my bot work?
Oh. Let's see if your bot worked.
Oh, jeez.
Robots.
Nicole, you're following the show,
I
right?
figure they're going to take over
Absolutely.
anyway. I might as well be on the like right side of them, on the friendly side of them. You know, like when a robot.
Yeah, make friends.
I
Make friends and alienate people.
That's right.
Oh, I look so good.
The slash bots, right? The ones that come in and like try to show you and sell you loot things.
Not yet. No.
Slash bots.
I'm hoping more Necrons. You know, like my everlasting soul is downloaded into a robot, and but I don't really know much about 40K.
Drink.
Damn it.
40K?
Drink.
Somebody say 40K?
Somebody did. The one
Dayton
alone.
doesn't have a drink.
Why doesn't Dayton have Dayton?
I finished working 12 hours
and crack out a drink.
And then I gotta work another 12 tomorrow morning. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm painting Scarable called Terminators. Oh no, Drake.
Hey,
I thought you have to. Do you have to say 40K, or is it just whenever it's referenced?
40K reference.
It's
any 40K reference
is what it evolved into.
That's the game.
So you're an Age of Sigmar podcast, and so how did the game evolve?
We
actually?
try to be an Age.
Is that what it is?
You
try.
try. Dayton's very loose.
Yeah.
Dayton's very loose. So it's just as soon as it rolls off his tongue, everybody just has to knock one back.
Was it like an operant conditioning thing? You're trying to like keep each other honest, or keep Dayton honest?
Yeah. It was more of originally it was more of the one co-host that we had, Mr. Jeff Bodine. It was a multi-system user, and I actually think he preferred the 40K more than all of them. So he liked to reference it whenever he could.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it turned into a game of, okay, if you're going to do this, let's drink every time you do it. Because we're not talking while you're doing it. So. May as well drink.
It's kind of like swear jar.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and get the intro out of here. Good evening, everyone. How's it going, chat gang? I'm the Magical Mister Mephisto, the most dangerous man in Age of Sigmar. Welcome to episode 106 of AOS RantCast. This is season 3. Second part of the two-part extravaganza opening up strong with the party at the All Points. Tristan, who do we have with us?
Well, hello.
One take, buddy. Here you go.
One take wonder right here. Well. Well, hello, Mephy people. Welcome to Meph at the All Points, your place for postin' and toastin' in the Age of Sigmar. I'm your undead life of the party, Tomb King Tristan. I do that head whip every time, by the way, guys. Joining me for episode 2 is our man in the middle, Bud Dillion. He's worth $1 million. at least to me in my heart, Budtastic guy over here somewhere. Where is he? Is he up? Is he down?
He's in the
Is he
left of my
around?
screen. Yeah.
I'm over here. Oh, hey. How's it going, eh? I'm really happy to be here. We're gonna talk some hockey, and if it gets cold, I'm gonna put on a toque.
Geez, well, it's always good to see a good middle Canadian kid just getting it done. Just getting it done in the
just
corners
get those skates on. Just go give her in the corner, eh?
Yeah, bye. And throwing down the gloves. We got the guy there with the kind of looking like the Mr. Clean. He's got the headphones on. Oh,
He's our enforcer.
Dayton. That's right. That's you, Dayton. Dayton at the All Points. Say hello, Mr. Dayton.
Are you referencing me as the goon on the team?
Yeah.
Well,
you definitely are.
I appreciate that because I would go to bat with any one of you. So.
Hello.
I would cause the problems in the corner, and Dayton would come to save me.
And the one who would actually score. Hey, Nicole, how's it going?
Yeah.
Hey, boys.
Is that a sexual reference?
It could be if you wanted to. I don't know. It's your house. It's Nicole's rules.
So I have to address the elephant in the room. You're all Canadian, and I feel like I was on set for Letterkenny.
Oh yeah.
Fun fact: never watched that show.
Yeah.
You've never watched it?
To be fair, I've never watched it.
But you know the references.
I just know the single reference. I watch the good shows.
Figure it out.
It's just too much like all the kids I grew up with. I don't need to watch them. I already grew up with them. Like, great, you're gonna talk in stupid hockey accents. I'm gonna go like this, and that's the show.
I mean, as the ambassadors to like America right now, how authentic is Letterkenny? I think that's the question everyone in chatting must
bang on.
The hockey players are scary close.
The rednecks. I grew up
pretty
with
bad.
Redneck.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of like
it's all
how
true. It's very Ontario.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Rob,
really
Ontario.
Prairies.
Ontario.
Right,
Did I say it the other day?
I don't have that
I lost my mind.
accent.
Horizon's lackey this episode is going to be amazing.
It's gonna be a gonger.
See, I'm from Wisconsin, and our most Wisconsin sort of known show, you got Happy Days, right, with the Bronze Fawns, and then you've got That 70s Show. And
two winners.
The sets are not like when they're out of the house, there's nothing Wisconsin about basically anywhere they go. They're always very like clean, like obvious sets. Like when they're out in the woods, I'm like, that's not a Wisconsin wood. And why aren't they ever drinking in a cornfield? Like, disgusting.
So you get that from Letterkenny then. At least there's a lot of references there that you can relate to then, I guess.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, I mean, cold and farmland, really. I mean, maybe the accent changes because, Wisconsin a little bit more, up here, down, and, go drink in there or get 2 tree beers. Like, so Wisconsin's a little different.
Doofy?
Huh?
Nah.
That doofy?
It doesn't sound like he's about to diddle a fiddle.
Go for a rippy.
No fiddle diddler.
So, but yeah, so the accent, I guess, changes a little bit, but it's cold. What are you going to do? You're going to play games and you're going to drink. And that's why I think
GT racers.
you get one warm. Well,
Great.
When I was growing up, you had like 1 month of summer was legit hot and the rest was mild, but global warming fucked all that.
So, wait, we're talking 25 degrees and higher as legit hot, right?
I mean, honestly, anytime it gets above like what would be, I guess, you guys have the proper temperature.
Convert that.
What's the number? What's the number that's
like 75. That's like 75.
Above 70, disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting.
Oh yeah, that's
that's Canada.
Okay, 75 translates to 23. All right, or 24 degrees.
Yeah, I was gonna dirty math it at about 20. I know that it's like
it's hot. It's like way hotter than that, bud.
Disgusting. Like anytime it goes above like
said it, not me.
70 is gross, 80 unbearable, 90 I pretty much can't exist.
Hide in your basement.
Yeah.
Hide in your basement.
Yeah. My office is
90,
actually the sort of like
30
wing of
guy.
the house. There was just 1 month where I just didn't record podcasts and I was never in my office because it's just too hot. Disgusting.
Too hot, man.
Do him, dude.
Too hot hurts.
Dude.
Naked podcasting would be better.
Mm-hmm. Just suck. That's all you need.
So when you guys record, you don't
Suck
actually have
fast.
the cameras on right now. Is this a different like world for you?
Nope.
No, we
we
have
record
me.
video.
So you record.
Yeah.
Not for the viewers. It's just for them. It's
Yeah.
just so they can see themselves, really.
So you can pick up the little nuances when you're able to see someone else that you can't
Absolutely.
if you're just hearing them.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You're not wrong. It's usually why like the guests will ask if, do you want cameras? I'm like, yeah. I mean, you want to see someone's facial reaction. You want to be able to like land. Did they see that I was going for a pun or a joke there? Like if it went over their head. The pun. What was the pun that was missed on the show I was listening to today? Tristan, it blew right over your head. I was like in the audience, like sad. God, what was it? It was such a good reference, and I'm like, oh, like I was like
Nicole.
applauding.
That's a Nicole thing. She's the one that listens to it the most.
Not by choice. It's just the job of editing.
So,
I don't know on the latest episode.
I don't know if it was the latest. I
Yeah.
kind of skipped around to get
Was
like
it
an
Jacob
aggregate
Wait,
understanding.
is Jacob Berry on it?
I've never.
No, I did listen to Jacob
okay.
Berry, the more recent one, where he cracked on Tristan for being on 5 times, which is more times than Tristan's been on the show. Apparently.
Hey, I just make it my own.
I guess that's a decent question though. Like, how did Party at the All Points come together? Because the cast that's sitting right here before me now is a little bit different from how you all started out, and Tristan's,
We've evolved.
Yeah,
This
evolved.
is all 5 formed into one. This is it.
Are we like Are we like at the Charmeleon stage or the like full Charizard?
Maybe
Like, what do we
don't
got?
give me like a full narrative of it, but maybe the inception moment, maybe like some sort of like midpoint where you kind of felt like you were onto something, and then how did Tristan bully his way onto your great show?
Dayton, weave me a tale. Paint me a word picture.
I guess this is
come
a
on,
me
Dayton.
question,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
That
this
is
isn't
a
only
good
you.
question.
eh? Yeah.
No one else knows or cares.
I live in the mountains. Both Nicole and I live way in the mountains. We don't have any basically physical contact with people other than ourselves.
Mhm.
I listen to a lot of podcasts and Twitch
Weird
feeds.
way to put that.
It's a
So
weird,
perfectly
I'm a weird
Dayton.
individual.
Leave him alone.
The words go
Carry
together.
on.
So yeah, my teammates, the BC Battle Bros, have a podcast that they do like once a year,
Mm.
and I was on it a couple times. So then I was like, you know what? Maybe I could do this. So I gathered together 2 teammates that know the game of Age of Sigmar, coached it to them.
Jeff Bodine
Jeff
and
Bodine
Price
and
Vanderberg.
thank you. I should announce who they are. Both Southern gentlemen from Tennessee. And yeah, we started doing a show, as you do.
Yeah.
Got Rage of Sigmar on for episode 6. Kind of started feeling things out then. Got Rob on a few times. Started getting guests.
Yeah.
Big Dick Alex from In Your Phase now.
Pretty Alex G, as we like to call him.
Yeah, he really is pretty. But I break him when I hug that man.
It's probably because he's a vegan.
Big squeeze out.
Well, so I've been tournament playing. I've traveled around quite a bit.
Yeah.
I've been for the last like 5 years, mostly 40K drink. And didn't jump into Age of Sigmar until the podcast started, basically. And that was kind of like my stepping stone. It was like, okay, you know what? Let's document someone new going into the tournament. Have a fun thing about it. I went to one tournament, and then we had COVID.
Just for that's a right. Yeah, that's kind of like mid 2.0 is when your podcast started, right? Like mid second
Right.
AOS. Yeah.
We always had the game. I did play a tournament before that down in Spokane at the Gamers Haven with Bob Kelly. But so yeah, COVID happened, then we had to kind of change the show up and start BSing. So
So
Oh,
go ahead.
that makes sense.
So they're like, we need to start
That's why-
bullshitting. Let's get Bud on
That's
here. Is
why
that what
I
happened?
got invited on the show.
Because you're full of shit. What?
Yeah.
Well,
Rude.
I'm in the prairies.
every broadcast needs a filler like person. Every one of
Yeah.
them. You know.
That's me.
Every
I'm like
podcast
sawdust and
starts.
soup.
every podcast starts, and to where they are now is a completely different show, in my opinion. There's so much evolving that happens in the beginning of trying to figure out who you are and what you actually want to
Finding
do.
your voice. Yeah.
And sometimes it just comes naturally, and sometimes it's forced, and sometimes chemistry doesn't work with individuals, and you got to find other people.
That's interesting.
So
Wow, that sounds
there
like
we
my dating history.
right?
Well,
Uh,
I mean, I actually really genuinely and I know 2 of you have a background in broadcast here, and Nicole and Bud. For me, broadcast was always something that I looked at and like really admired. Like from when I was a kid, I used to have like the cassette deck, and I would like I had the microphone I could plug into, like the little 2-deck changer, and I would record like the radio, like the songs that I liked, and then I would like say my own little intro between like the songs and stuff. And I've always had like an interest in it, but my insomnia is really to blame for where I ended up with broadcast, because I would stay up like watching all the late shows. And I know they're not thought of as like radio broadcasts, but like the nature of like recorded live in front of an audience, having rotating guests on, I really loved Letterman. Just his ability to like kind of get the bullshit out of the way, because everyone's going to come on and like advertise their thing. And like he had a way where like he didn't care about that, and then he'd just have great conversations. And for me, it was like always like, there was, go ahead.
When Letterman cheated on his wife. And there was that guy that tried to
extort him.
And he was just like, no, you don't get to do that.
Yep.
Here, I'm coming out in public and I'm telling everyone what I did. And just fucking.
I mean, you're like, okay, like womanizer, adulterer, that sucks. But the like also to kind of own it on live TV and like that was awesome. I mean, from I don't know what perspective, but it was kind of awesome to behold.
How he took that situation, that was a shit situation, and did his thing with it, did his own, and didn't let anyone else control it.
Yeah.
Because that could have
Especially his
destroyed
wife.
him. Not great for his wife.
Not great for his wife.
No.
Not great for the marriage. Okay for the career, though, because that could have been it. Like, that could have been Letterman's done.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at how we handle shit like that now, he would just be canceled.
Yeah. No, do you have like in the back of your minds, and this is kind of for all of you, do you have in the back of your minds like, I guess you do edit it, Nicole. You edit all the episodes and stuff like that. How do you determine like what to keep in, what keeps the authentic sort of heart of the show? You keep everything. You don't just go in and chop off all the likes and ums. Like,
let's not lie.
No, honestly, if there's like a giant pause, sure. If somebody says something they regret, which doesn't happen very often, but like maybe a handful of times, sure. But
yeah, Jacob Barry's been on that many times. Yeah,
I feel like twice. No, for the most part, you just, because that's conversation, right? Like when you start taking out ums and likes, then you lose the natural factor, and it doesn't sound genuine anymore. Mm-hmm. I will say the two times I've hosted it, I edited out more of my own ums because you're more conscious of them. So I made myself sound better.
Oh,
I see how it is.
I just had to hold myself back from saying right there.
Now the dirty laundry's coming out.
They just talk.
Yeah.
I don't do that much.
It's getting real.
Crusty socks.
Look at what
Nicole, if you weren't
ruined our show, the breakup's happening now.
Live on screen.
Like, I mean, back just catching up with chat here. We're back to the Letterman thing for a second there. Especially look, that was like in the tail of the Monica Lewinsky era, right? Like, it would have been the way that like careers were made covering like the biggest adultery story of the time, right? Like the 24-hour news cycle was sort of getting its beginning with two factors: O.J. Simpson trial and Monica Lewinsky. Like, as from an American perspective, I'm not really certain how it went with like obviously the rest of the world, but like that was the beginning of like the total saturation of media coverage of like it just never stops. Like they're like, wait a second, if we can keep people plugged in watching the show all the time, and the show was becoming reality, like we can. And journalism has like a long history with advertising, like trying to get like the headlines that sell like ad spots in your classifieds and stuff like that. Like we get that. That's part of journalism. But like to actually be like for me, that felt like kind of like the really beginning of like the 24-hour broadcast, and like going into the early 2000s and when we actually started getting the literal 24-hour.
And Meph, if you were to take a stipple of that, you would have had Price and Jeff on right now. No. Okay. So there's going to be less triple on this.
What? I didn't get it.
It's fine. It's just like that pun that went over my head in one of our shows.
No, I missed that one too.
Jeff and Price were the original co-hosts. You were going to bring them on, create tension and drama.
Oh yeah, like I could bring them in real quick.
More Jerry Springer.
Like in the waiting room.
Oh yeah, like
I did. Jeff, my kid.
I did do that once with Jacob Berry, actually. Like, I was doing what was called, like, the Ranties, and I had, like, the Warhammer Villain Award, because, they have the
Yep.
Warhammer Hero Award, and,
He's a piece of shit. Yep.
and I had, like, Jacob Berry, like, gank the show, even though he'd never been on, like, my show at all, and had him come in and, like, do a whole bit, and he was hammered-ass drunk, which I know is just part of Jacob Berry's shtick, and it was fantastic. But, Tristan, you actually won an award during that. It was the,
It was great.
It was the Muppet Man Award, for the guest on RantCast most likely to be 3 people in a trench coat with a Twitter account. And interesting that you are now on a show often
With
hosted
3
by
people.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Tristan is the internet. He's the Twitter. He's the Twitch. He's everywhere.
I am the id.
I mean, he's probably the mod to the most like separate like Twitch streamers there are. Like,
I've been slowing down. I don't know.
It's
In my
hard to
old age.
Yeah.
You
get
kids
old.
get
Happens.
older, you know.
So
yeah, like
so
that's
Bud,
how
you
it is. Bud gets it.
So, Bud, you
Yeah.
came on basically during the sort of like the lockdown, trying to like keep the show, going and find a.
Interesting.
I don't
That's
know
the
I was
word
why.
you're
gonna
looking
say.
for.
Yeah. It was Dayton's like, hey, do you want to be on this show? And I'm like,
Who the fuck are
okay.
you?
I'm not like, I don't know a lot about these things called strategy and list building and stuff, but okay.
You don't have
And
much
you
knowledge.
kind of, yeah, I don't even know enough to know that I don't know sometimes. But Dayton twisted my arm because he thought it would be good, and it's been a lot of fun. Actually, I've really enjoyed it. So,
Mhm.
so
And I can replace you at a drop of a hat.
thanks, Dayton.
Just go back to painting, Dayton. Just go
Ruined
back
the
to painting.
wholesome moment.
I know. Thanks. Never coming out to your place again.
That's not true. But I gotta go to your place first.
Okay,
You came here. I gotta go there now.
that's right.
It's only fair.
I'll
The-
bring
I
you
think
a
it's fair if
sausage.
Nicole goes.
The trip
you
going
can all
up
come.
a mountain is often like way more treacherous than going down, or
Mhm.
right. So
It takes more muscles to go down than it does to go up. Actually, technically.
I'm
Like
talking about
smiling.
driving.
There's,
Why
like-
would I walk? Gross.
Or biking.
Disgusting.
That's Dayton's big thing.
Depending on the mountain you're on, biking down the mountain's actually more terrifying than going up it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Depends what's chasing you.
They're all terrifying. Mountains are terrifying. Do you know why? Because you can't see a sunrise or a sunset. It's like all the joy in my life is gone.
That's it.
can
That's all the joy
okay.
in your life. That's it.
Bud, you can see a storm coming like a week away.
Oh, I know. It's
Yeah.
so awesome.
You watch your dog run away for 3
I
days.
sit there. Actually, my daughter and I, when thunderstorms come in from the west, we sit at our kitchen window and we watch the storm like for an hour and a half
Oh,
coming in.
Storm-
It is fabulous.
Dad, storms are coming.
I got the lightning tracker out. I'm gonna check the lightning tracker.
Alright,
We should be hearing some thunder pretty soon. You know.
I'll put on the slow cooker. It'll be ready by the time the rain
Oh,
starts.
Start the popcorn.
8 hours.
Stop the popcorn, eh?
Oh, jeez.
Where's my Guilliman
Listen, you start raising the calf, and by the time it gets here, it'll be time for the culling.
No,
We've
the
all-
Schween, the
We've all
Schweenschlag.
helped birth the calf, right? We've all helped birth the calf, right?
No, I've slit one's throat.
No.
No,
Milk
I haven't
and-
done that
milk
either.
and-
Oh,
birthed.
Wisconsin over here.
Yeah, my grandpa had a farm, so it's like cheating.
Oh wait, no, I actually did birth a calf. Never mind.
My
sorry.
my grandpa was a grain farmer.
I mostly held
birthed a
stuff
human.
and like.
There you go, Nicole.
I was
Yeah.
there for the
Yeah.
birth of a human.
Which one of your children
Not
is
the
more
same,
cow-like?
bud.
I know. Yeah, but
Which-
I didn't hear that. So that
I
Which
was.
don't,
one's
I
more
don't
cow-like?
even know how to
Oh no.
like.
First thought, best
no,
thought.
No,
It's first thought, best
No.
thought. Come on.
no, just no.
You can pick the type of cow.
Cow-like?
Okay, but did you have your kid in your living room?
I did not.
Oh, you
Did
did
Tina
not do
have a
it.
kid in your living room?
Yeah, we did a home birth for our second child.
That's intense as hell.
I mean, that's like a podcast in and of
no.
itself. How'd that
Where's
go?
Tina?
Live
Get
story.
Like,
More.
I assume you didn't speak in the past tense, so it must have worked out.
Oh, it was way better than the first one that was at the hospital.
Wow, Wow,
There you go.
radical.
It was
I mean,
amazing. It was amazing.
props to your wife.
Yeah.
Tina the champ.
Yeah.
Tina's the best.
It really is.
And so, like, obviously, you guys got a hot streak. You're running the podcast, pretty much crushing it, and you're like, you know what we need to do? We need to run the podcast on hard mode. Let's go out and get Tomb King Tristan.
What was my reach out to you, Tristan?
What was the way you reached out to me?
Yeah.
I think I can
Hypothetically.
bring that up. Hypothetically, would you be interested in maybe being on a show? Maybe?
Hypothetically, if I were to make room for
hypothetically.
you, would you
Yeah.
come on the show?
Wait,
Hypothetically,
did you mention
yes.
that I was on the show too.
He knew.
Okay, good.
He didn't listen, but he knew.
That's
I
actually
know everyone that listens.
a decent question. Yeah, everyone. Like, you're
Listen, I downloaded it.
have you found that,
after I
like,
was gonna
as
be on the show.
podcasters? Sorry.
No.
No, what?
Have you found that as podcasters, you consume less content when you're making shows, or is it about the same? Like, you've all kind of jumped in at different points. Have you noticed like a difference in how much other stuff you watch or consume versus how much you kind of focus on your own show?
I don't know, Nicole. As a Jewish woman in the hobby, do you feel you listen to less podcasts?
Ooh, as a podcaster in the podcast industry, I know I'm the worst person to answer this because I'll be honest, I don't listen or subscribe to a lot of Warhammer or AOS content other than this one, and it's not really by choice. So I'm gonna throw to Bud.
Oh, thanks,
Bud?
Nicole. Thanks, Nicole. Since I've joined Party at the All Points in January of 2021, I would say that my podcast listening has stayed about the same.
Okay.
So, other than the fact that there are some podcasts have listened to an episode or two of, such as TFG Radio, which is a 40K podcast that we are partners with,
The Grand Alliance.
and because I don't know, because I'm a podcaster, then I had to make sure I watched Warhammer Weekly when I got a shout out from Vince. So that's my proudest moment
show's
as a
that?
broadcaster. That ranks second to interviewing. No, that ranks just above interviewing Sidney Crosby. So
Who told?
shout out from Vince, Sidney Crosby, name drop. I love
I
it.
almost
We got
got
the show. The show got the shout out, and then Bud got the story.
No. Oh yeah, that's right.
I almost got sued by the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
I
I-
can't tell
I
when
got
what's a
a-
work and what's a shoot.
I got a strongly worded email from them telling me that I had to come in and delete a bunch of pictures that I'd taken whenever I was on OJT for a photography degree. I had the guy who worked for the Canadian National Press, who was like a normal photographer, tell me just to bring my camera along and come shoot some pictures. And I was like, okay. And then he was filing with whatever photo thing he was filing. And he was like, yeah, just go into the locker room, whatever. And so I went into the locker room, talked to a couple people, asked them about like specific things in the game, took some pictures, whatever. Then went and talked to the guy that I was doing my no. And then went and talked to the guy that I was doing my OJT with about it, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool, that's great, let's look at those." And he was like, "Yeah, these are fine." I'm like, "Thanks, I guess." And then like 2 days later, I get that dude raging at me, being like, "What did you do?" Basically blaming me for everything that I had done on my OJT and saying that I was a terrible person.
Fallout Boy.
That was
Are
fun.
you saying you did not get the express written consent of the National Hockey League?
To reproduce those in the video format? No.
Yeah, in whole or in part.
Fuck Gary
No,
Bettman.
I didn't. So I had to go in and I had to show somebody from the organization that my card that I had shot the pictures on was wiped.
Yeah,
Because I was
and so naturally you totally didn't make any backups of your photos.
No, I was like 19.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I was 19 and I was terrified because some dude from the NHL was like, "We're gonna sue you and ruin your life." And
Yeah,
it's just like, okay.
That's intense. See, I'm being
Meanwhile,
sued right now,
it's-
but that's for a
I'll
totally
ruin my
different
own life. I'm gonna go get this chick pregnant. Beat you to it, Pittsburgh.
Wow.
I was just gonna say I just talked to Theo Fleury and took a couple shots, but whatever, it's fine. They look kind of art house. It's fine.
Oh, nice.
Man,
I got to see Yamir Alga's hair in person, and it was glorious before he cut it. Oh,
I got to see Sidney Crosby punch out my friend Nathan. Shout out to my buddy Toomsy.
I took a piss beside Sidney Crosby.
I talked to him. He said thanks after we were done.
Wow, you always have the most polite conversations with people, bud.
He was
Acceptance.
only 17 or 18 at the time. It was at the World Junior Hockey Championships.
Okay, so yeah, he was 17 or 18 when he punched out my buddy too.
So
yeah.
This is a hockey podcast now. See, I played hockey when I was really young. Pee Wee Junior. I see that. I see those. Yeah.
Go Jets.
Smashville. Let's go. No.
Get out of here with your fucking mustard trash jerseys. Okay.
We
animal.
the Milwaukee Admirals are the feeder team to the
Unbelievable.
Oh, okay.
to
Nashville Predators.
The Milwaukee what?
the Milwaukee
Admirals.
Admirals.
Oh,
It's
I thought you said feeders.
our G League or our minor
Yeah.
team.
You
They're-
can say that I'm a Canadian. You can tell me exactly which league it's in. The AHL.
The AHL.
Yeah, so it's the feeder team for the Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
by association, I like them. And then they were really good for like 2 postseasons. So I was really getting on board, and then I lost interest as soon as my good team was not good.
Except for the one where the Jets knocked them out of the playoffs.
Disgusting.
Hey.
Right, Nicole?
Yes.
See, the thing about hockey
Yeah.
is, so I like
no,
a lot of
I'm
sports.
gone. You lost me.
Lost you?
Can we change the subject?
Checked out? Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, like, hockey is like its own, like, it's like a total subculture unto itself, and that's speaking as someone who likes a lot of sports and a lot of different things, and it's a whole different world. Like when a hockey player dies, you put the sticks out on your porch. Like they have all these like rituals that other games don't have. Like the closest thing we got to that was Kobe, like when Kobe died. Like a lot of people coming out in like solidarity with the NBA when that happened. But like hockey, it's everything. Like I'll be driving back and I'll see the hockey sticks out on the porch, and I'll be like, oh shit, someone just died in like Pee Wee's or Junior League or something like that. And
Over.
so, I guess I was gonna ask before we ended up on the your fun interaction with the NHL there, Tristan.
Oh, that's just specifically the Pittsburgh Penguins and Sidney Crosby. We can go deeper, but I don't want to.
No, I think we got told not to by the boss.
That's actually her name in our group chat. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
It's the aura. There's like a gravitas there. Like you can sense it even through the camera.
The fact that we fear her because she controls us. Yeah.
I think it's just the bright orange on the wall.
Well, it's the
Yeah.
thankless job of editing and
An orange aura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't edit my
Aura
shows.
is
It's too much work for me. So respect, honestly. I chop off the beginning part and sometimes the end part. And there was one time that like a slur got through, and I had to go through and get rid of a slur because it's like pretty much my only guardrail.
If Nicole didn't edit the beginning of their podcast, that would be just a different show altogether.
I'd imagine it'd be a lot like this one.
True dad. True
We'd
dad.
be in jail.
Yeah, we talked for like 20 minutes.
Waiting for
And it's
Tristan.
Yeah, wait for Tristan.
always waiting for Tristan somehow. Always
If it
waiting
wasn't
for
Jeff,
Tristan.
it's now Tristan.
Interesting.
Somebody's got to
Sorry
be the new
guys, I
Jeff.
just don't respect your time.
Yeah,
So-
that's the one constant.
So I mean, not to be too bold here, but Tristan coming on like with the intros and stuff like that. Like I like to prepare for tonight. I kind of spent this week listening to. All I listened to was like crazy true crime podcasts, and then Party at the All Points for like a whole week.
Mhm.
And you can notice like this.
Respect to that.
Let's go.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier, Dayton, is that like
I like
it
our
takes you a
show.
while to find your voice, and you're sort of like playing with the formula and going up. But I mean, like I said, this feels like one of those like backhanded compliments. But the last few episodes I listened to, from like the sort of like bat rap I caught. I think it was just Dayton. It was you and Nicole did a battle report. And then from there, it was like there was honestly like a serious professionalism to it. Like Tristan, I don't want to give you a compliment. This really sucks, but your intros are quite solid. How much of that is really you, Nicole? How much of that is you actually editing, Tristan?
How many times did it take Tristan to get it right? Depends on the day. Never won.
33% is a
Never
good shooting
won.
percentage.
I
For
think the
threes?
first- Actually, no. I feel like maybe the first time you came on, you just like nailed it, and then I feel like the second time it was like 7 times. And I kept being
Yeah, it
like,
was.
oh, here's the intro, clip that. And then you get halfway through and you'd fuck it up. And I'd be like, God, just do it. Just do it. Sometimes I keep extra takes because, you know,
Oh, for
we're
that
not here to lie to
episode
the
where we
audience.
just play them all back.
You
to
got a
back.
clip show. You got to do a clip show. It's
Oh,
free
no.
content. You've already made it. You
Yes.
just have to edit it for like Christmas or something. Put a little Christmas jingle in the beginning, like a little sign off on the end with all of you saying some sort of like happy holidays or some such. Like,
Well, we can't
I
do
think
that
we
ass
just
eating.
record the song.
Oh,
The rant where we went in with
2022,
ass
guys. It's
eating.
gonna be a good
Yeah.
one.
Can't do that one.
wait,
Oh.
which song can't we do?
It's not a song. It's
Oh.
the rant we went into about ass eating. Probably can't do that one on there.
Oh,
No, you're not gonna do.
I don't remember that one.
No.
Mephisto,
Anyways,
past Mephisto, how bad could
what
four
was the
Canadians
question?
be? No, it's just how does Tristan end up with the the pitch? Did he audition, or did you just like all kind of get together? Was it an interest? Like what?
He
happened?
owned it.
Kind of decided.
Yeah,
Tristan owned it.
I just
Okay, here we go.
walked in.
Tristan, I'm gonna
Alright.
I'm gonna pump you up a little bit here, bud.
No,
Listen,
Tristan,
when-
not me.
I know, right? When Bud came on the show, he was a good grounding situation to it all. He's a very wholesome person. He picks up on the conversation really well, and he likes to
He's
go
your
on,
anchor.
Like,
He's your
yeah,
anchor.
and he goes off on
So-
little things, and we feed off each other really well. When Tristan came on, he owned what he was going to do right away.
Mhm.
He took control. He was doing show notes. He was all enthusiastic. He was like this hypochondriac person in a small room.
Hypochondriac. You know the meaning of that word. Fuck.
But it was great because for myself, I felt like I had to be the energy in the show
Mm-hmm.
beforehand and for like the whole year. So
Yeah.
having Tristan come on now, I've been able to just kind of come back and like we've talked about before, the show evolves, and now we're entering this whole new era
Yeah. Yeah.
of Canadian broadcast Age of
Excellence.
Sigmar content.
Well, I mean,
So, but yeah, it's been great. I've been loving having Tristan on.
you
we
guys
can
are
make
the
it.
premier Canadian Age of Sigmar podcast. Everyone should know that. 5 stars and all that on iTunes. Come on,
Party
everyone.
people.
I just want to say, Canhammer can suck it.
Who?
Never even heard of them.
Exactly.
that's
Boom.
how-
roasted.
Yeah.
There we
Seasons
go.
of
40K
War.
reference.
Who
No,
dat?
Seasons of War is a
Who dat?
video format.
That's
That's
a
fantastic.
YouTube thing. We
Yeah.
don't have to talk about them.
Technically
We
correct
asked
is
about
the best
this.
kind of correct.
Fuck you, Ridge.
Did they even know how to play Warhammer?
I don't
Like-
think so. Listen here, just knocking back some Michelob Ultras, talk chat.
Yeah, my
That's right.
hoodie and backward hat.
Yeah.
Cans.
Backwards baseball cap.
Yeah.
That's the Ontario factor.
Oh,
Did you have to fight off on the way to the broadcast, eh?
I'm wearing a T-shirt that Dayton gave me.
I'm wearing a Toronto. I'm wearing an Ontario T-shirt.
Hey,
Or
Yeah,
actually,
where's your backwards
Ooh.
baseball cap there, bud?
that-
Need to cover your eyebrows.
Oh,
Gotta
sorry.
get a hoodie.
Oh man.
Okay.
It's just like on deck.
I'm ready.
So,
Okay.
Dayton and Nicole, I think there's a little bit more for both of y'all, because
Mm.
sort of been running the ship for a while now.
We try at least 3 times a week.
Do you have?
Sorry, what?
That wasn't the question. Do you do you take a little bit of pride in like having watched it evolve, like to this point?
Sure.
No.
Dayton?
Well, like Dayton,
It's
when you were
come
saying,
away-
like you
it's
had to,
come
like
away.
there's a pressure in having to be the energy all the time. Like I don't have like a co-host. It's just kind of like me and a guest, and there's a little bit of like roulette when I don't have a big rapport with whoever I'm bringing on. Like
Yeah, that's
some of the toughest episodes are like my audience will be like, "Hey, get this person on, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is, and now I need to figure out who they are and what we're going to talk about. And there's a pressure to that.
You need to spend a week listening to their podcast and true
Tristan,
crime
don't do
podcasts.
that to me, Tristan. Like, I've known you about as long as I've been in AOS, you jerk. The Bucks won the NBA championship because the relationship we forged and the T-shirt you sent me. That's what I was wearing when they won. It was
True.
clearly the
That's true.
T-shirt's doing. But Bud, I was familiar with you just from kind of Twitter and Dayton. Honestly, like you and obviously Nicole, like I had to kind of become a little bit more familiar with, and it. But yeah, like this isn't quite the same. Like, if anything, I could just like turn this into like a conversation with Tristan for like an hour, and just whatever. Like, but having a truly blind guest where you're like, okay, what's going on? And then you have to be the energy, and then you have to bring the questions, and that can be really rough. With the opposite of that is having too many cooks in the kitchen type thing, and it seems like you've struck a really good balance right now.
3 is always key.
3 is nice.
Yeah. Well, see,
Especially 3 people that can read each other and not talk over each other.
What?
My bad.
Okay,
No, don't.
you're the one saying
We're not talking. We're not gonna talk. We're not gonna talk. We're not gonna talk.
I just would like to remind everyone that Chat Game ain't nothing to fuck with. Shouts Kicker, shouts Hotspur 12. Hey, come on, all you Hotspurs. And Artist Circle.
Ooh. Are there people actually
Break
watching?
it down.
Yeah, and you missed
Chat
Caleb Kane
Game.
earlier.
Chat Game Killer.
Yeah, Chat
Oh,
Gang.
Caleb Kane.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Ziggy's here.
They
Ziggy,
left.
1982. That was a good year.
I love
Fuck
Ziggy.
you, Ziggy.
Ziggy's the greatest.
Man, fuck you, Ziggy.
And then we also had Ziggy 1982 dropping a resub tier 1 for 15 years of
Oh,
support.
Wow, that's
crap.
older than Bud's kids.
Goddamn, thanks for all the
No,
streams,
it's not.
says Ziggy.
Jeez Louise.
Shouts to Hades Death God, the Lord Whale, and Distracted Satrap.
See, I
Also
I
would
could
like
probably
everyone to
retire
know.
from RantCast now. Tristan, how do you feel about doing 2 podcasts? You're gonna do Party at the All Points, and then you come on and do RantCast in my stead.
I signed an NDA about that.
Yes,
The
yeah.
NDA, that's yeah, the
Do it
NDA.
for 3 years.
All right, let's do it. Let's get into the hot takes. The NDA. All right, I'm just gonna go around the
Is it
wheel here.
real?
Is it real? First off, is it real? And if it is real, is it out of bounds?
Okay, so let's just go under the assumption that it is real
Okay.
for the first part of this,
Okay.
Free Palestine. And if it is real, it's a pile of crap. Like, that's one of those things where they slide it to you. You take out your Sharpie, you look at it, make sure it's still good and wet, and then you cross out half the things and you hand it back to them. Be like, here you go. If you want, if you want me to hang out with you, reading through it, it was 3 years you're not allowed to do anything with any sort of competition, and it was basically an employee agreement if you were in some kind of IP development. It's nuts.
I see it.
Yeah.
You can keep going. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I can save my thoughts until.
I thought you said NBA. I'm like, what the
NBA.
hell are we talking about?
We're talking hoops.
NDA. I get it now.
Go Bucks.
I get it. I've caught up.
Yeah, what are your hot takes, hockey fans, on the basketballs? No.
Tell me about the round ball. But no, so
Sorry.
this NDA agreement, I flipped through it, and I've been a part of a whole bunch of different chats about it today because it's been something fun to distract myself from a boring day at work. And it just seems like a super restrictive NDA that is a pile of crap that obviously was just being floated around or had been sent to somebody and then somebody sent to somebody else. And then Goober Town, who is a super sharp dude who read it over and was just like, this is kind of insane. And then posted on the internet being like, hey guys, this seems a little bit off kilter. What do you think? And then everyone's been jumping down his throat being like, how dare you attack GW?
No,
I've never signed an NDA like this.
First off, don't hate the player, hate the game. In any of these instances, whenever there's something going on, it's not free reign to harass people. Now, if someone's being a dick or they're a Nazi, then harass them because fuck Nazis and people are
But
dicks.
of all the people to come out and be a spokesperson for this,
Yeah.
I'm glad it's Coopertown because that guy is so wholesome and sweet and smart and calm with people that you can't if you're gonna come out with something that's as batshit crazy as what we just saw on the internet was, that's the man to at least be the one to be like, hey, this doesn't seem right.
Well, I mean, I was struggling to think of the NDA language of the NDAs I've signed over the years because I've worked in games journalism, particularly in games reviews where I got some early copies. I'd have to sign NDAs for those. Usually it'd be a 1 week to 3 week lead time. Sometimes it could be a year lead time depending on what the game was and where they were in the development process and what press they wanted at the time. So I had some NDAs.
Aside,
Go ahead.
Shouts to Snipbag and Warback Tuska, who slid in with a raiding party of 7 different people. Hey, guys.
Ooh, welcome to Party at the
Party at the
Mephistos.
There we go.
Meph-Points. There you go. Nice.
There we go.
Good live broadcast technique there. Dragging the words so that your co-host could come in and
They know what I'm
And
struggling.
save the day.
It's like 98% of the time.
yeah. No,
Oh,
good
we got
good
Dale
stuff.
Payton.
Great
Look
effort.
look at
Why
that
don't you
chemistry.
introduce me to your friends?
You just
I
got to see
forgot
that
their name.
chemistry live on Party at the Meph-Points, everybody.
I love you, Dayton.
So, Dayton, what do you think? The NDA. I mean, you kind of interjected in there, but do you have like further thoughts or?
Yeah. I mean, okay. End of the day, no matter what I say, GW is still an amazing. Like the system that they provided is decent, and the community that they built is fantastic.
We built that community.
And
No,
if
go on.
if this community,
and
like,
roll.
if we're to jump onto another game system, I'm with them.
Yeah.
But for this is the only place I've been able to find for any like tournament setting and people all over the world that's been awesome. And this is the reason why we do podcasts. This is the reason why we're so involved in this is the community, not necessarily the game. We are still always going to participate in the game. It's so I'm kind of in life getting as I get older, getting less and less appeal towards sports for this reason of just how much crap's going on. And there's only so much I can take from a company before I start losing disinterest. Things that piss me off about GW is not crediting their artists.
Absolutely.
I think is a amount of horseshit. Like look at Magic the Gathering and how to do it properly. Those are the ones.
I've got a BEM poster, which is one of the card arts. It was Dark Harvest or whatever. I saw the card. The card is cool. Saw the guy's booth. Bought his art. Had him sign my card. Like
Yeah. They promote your company.
Rad as
Everyone
Writers
knows
too.
they're represented by it, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no need to hold them back
Yeah.
for whatever bullshit reason. For everyone saying it's for their protection, that's a bunch of horseshit. That's GW just trying to own everything.
GW can the horribly ironic thing is Games Workshop holds the IP. The people who actually like wrote the initial IP don't even fucking work for them anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is just one more thing, right? It's just one more thing that if this is true, I'm not jumping down. Oh, maybe it's not true, but if it's true, it's just more shady shit from a company that just doesn't surprise me anymore with shady shit. And that's the reason why I think there's so many people accepting this as possibly true. It's just because it wouldn't surprise us.
You believe that, right?
Yeah.
And that room, yeah. I'm with you, by the way. Not crediting their artists is like horseshit. I think transparency is the other pile of horseshit for them as a company. They just kind of like their transparency is constantly sus.
And the changing things, like when they f up, with
Just say it.
something,
Yeah,
like,
go back and change the
there's no admittance whatsoever. They just
just
switch
say it.
things.
Just say it.
Into
Like,
the
oh,
new
you didn't
reality.
see that? Like, come on. Come on.
They go back and they change their website from like 2 months ago to be like, oh no, we
No.
never said that was going to be
Yeah,
out
guys.
then. Jeez, eh?
Well, well, I mean, the amount of dissonance it causes in a person, like it's literally like psyops at this point. Where like you're like, wait, did I really remember reality that way? Am I crazy? Go on.
Hey, Nicole, as a Jewish woman in the hobby who's new to the hobby, how do you feel about everything?
I think if you fuck up, just admit that you fucked up,
Yeah,
and then say you're
Dayton.
sorry.
Oh, that wasn't a Dayton.
You know.
Oh, I admit I fuck up all the time.
No, to GW, to everyone here, to Dayton. Sure, yeah. If you fuck up, you say, "Hey, I fucked up."
It's
And
in
I'm
our
sorry.
intro
And
to
now
our
we're gonna keep
podcast.
it. I thought you were gonna say our like wedding vows, but that too. Yep.
Yeah, that was
Mhm.
pretty good too.
Mine too.
Yeah.
It's just not that hard to be a decent company who's hopefully made up of like half decent human beings, and they make so much money, and they have so many
$5 billion.
nerds all over the world so devoted to them. So it's
So
just not that hard
frothy.
to be like decent.
Well, I mean,
Not a frothy
they're a
nerd.
$5 billion company, right? Like, is the last what their actual value at? That's not even speculative value or like some of the other like capitalism terms. $5 billion concrete dollars, right?
And
Oh,
not in debt.
Yeah,
Like they don't
and
have,
they have
no money like stored anywhere else. Like they own everything. They've
Yeah.
never borrowed money for anything. And that's
they have a
insane.
cash reserve.
They make over half their money off of digital IP, which they don't actually have to secure the assets for. They literally just print money with like Total Warhammer and Dawn of War and stuff like that because they license it out. They have so I one of my only NDA with GW was when I play tested the Soulbound RPG. So technically I was working with Cubicle 7. Shout out, speaking of companies that do it the right way, that company does it the fucking right way. Like, they would announce a pre-order for one of their books. If you pre-order it, you get 100 copies of the PDF to download, and they'll eventually ship you the book when it goes to print. What a great way of handling things. The people who develop and write are constantly accessible on Twitter, and I don't know how much I truly care about like being able to access company figureheads via social media. Honestly, like a good PR department versus like being able to talk to people on the internet's honestly a horse apiece, and our sort of like advanced capitalist state to me right now.
We're
But
talking about Cubicle 7
yes,
here, right?
Cubicle 7.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but because I
The
worked
one
on
that
Cubicle
has- where
7,
your
or
name's
because I
in-
yes,
Your
because-
name's in this book right here.
yeah, I am.
Just gonna zoom in on this.
What's the discount code?
I don't have one.
That's
No,
the real question.
yeah,
I kid.
Here's my
No, they're amazing.
here we go. So this is my copy of Soulbound, and my name that I'm going to autograph right next to is here in the opening credits. No,
I'll have to take that with me whenever
I'll sign
meet
it
up
for
with
you.
you at a tournament.
Yeah.
I'll look at my.
Thank
I
you.
won't
digital
even charge you
copy
because
that
I like
bought
you,
and
Tristan.
paid for.
I bought my own copy, by the way, of the game that I am credited in because I believe in
yeah.
that.
You're
Like,
a hero.
But no. So like, I had to sign an NDA for Cubicle 7, and then I also had like a second one for GW. My GW one was like this big,
There
Like,
you are.
and like I don't even remember it. I'm not saying that that's not the NDA I didn't sign because I didn't sign it as a YouTuber. It's literally apples to oranges comparing what I signed for GW versus what we're seeing on the internet. So, this is a moot point when I mentioned the GW thing. It's just I've signed some NDAs in my life. I've never seen a 3-year clause in any fucking NDA, even in games journalism and video games where they're much more. Well, there's a reputation for the video game industry being a lot shittier than Games Workshop, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And
Oh God.
I've had they've done studies just in general, like getting free product on reviewers. This spawned out of the IGN days where like you can't trust IGN stars. If they give something 4 stars, it means they didn't like it. If they give it 5, it means they liked it.
What was it? PC Gamer was real bad for that.
Was
too.
that what it was? Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
there was a joke going around where like one of them was like, if it got 4 stars, that meant they didn't like it. If it got 5, it meant they did, and they never rated anything 1, 2, or 3. That was just
my dad was just like that for restaurant reviews in the local paper. He got a job somehow being the guy that went around to restaurants. This is a man who thinks that there's 2 types of cheese, both orange and white. So like that's the
Wow.
level
So?
of talent we're talking about here. He's a former sports writer that they gave a food column to for some reason because he was like an everyman who could tell jokes, which sounds great. But he never ever gave a restaurant a bad review because we live in a small province, and like if you give somebody a bad review in
can't
the one paper in town, that's basically like a death now. So if he didn't like, sorry, I'm just burping because of my White Claws.
Sorry, keep going.
If he didn't like the restaurant, he would just talk about how great the service was.
Did he
That's
have a
about the food.
ratatouille?
I'm sorry, that's quaint as hell. I like
Yeah, but-
That's so Canadian and
Isn't it
so cute.
that's
That's
And-
so,
I'm
that's
so
so
jealous.
Islander.
I want that job.
Right? It was such a killer job. He actually got his. So they used to pay for the meal and pay him for the contract and pay him for the amount, but then he found out that they were paying him more for the column than they did their other columnists, and they were paying for the meal. So he's like, "Well, you guys have to pay
No,
me
I-
less, like pay me the same as a normal columnist because my dad's a little bit of a socialist."
oh yeah,
And
a little
then they
bit
were
get
like,
on my
okay.
level, coward.
well, it was just like well, he's a retired
just a
teacher.
little bit
He
of a
doesn't
social.
care
Come
about
on,
the
go
money.
all the way. Don't none of this toe tapping in. Go all the way,
Yeah.
deep end.
Aren't
I'm
we all
borderline
socialists?
anarchist at this point. Like I'm getting so bad. Like I feel like I need to self-radicalize because like centrism bothers. Like centrism and
Corporatism.
being reasonable are 2 different things. Dear viewers,
100%.
people in the chat gang. Like
Yeah, so I just want to draw attention to one thing, just to steer us back.
I was
the
about to
NDA
talk to Dinma
conversation.
too.
Oh, see, I was gonna point to the Mazdak miniatures, who is my fucking guy.
Manzak, one of the absolute like just stunning like green stuffers of the community, one of the great sculptors and conversionists, along with yourself actually. You and Marok are like my top 3 that I like sort of personally know.
I am nowhere near on their level, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay,
Like,
Mr.
me.
Tomb
we just
King
leave?
Tristan, it's in the fucking name. Like,
Whatever. Listen, but Mazdak made like a couple of really good points. Like, if scroll up in here, he was like, his company tried to get everyone to sign a non-compete with crazy restrictions, and like if you work in, like, let's say the gaming industry, and you have a 3-year you can't work in this industry, that's your whole career if you decide to leave the company or if you get fired from something. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. And then, like, he went on to further say a couple other, like, smart things, which, I don't know, he's smart and stuff.
Organized.
Gloss over those.
Like, just pointing out that NDAs are, like, common. Typically, just don't share the product that isn't out the market, divulge industry secrets, etc., including not disparaging the company's standard, but it's the vagueness and wording that makes it very dubious and subjective to litigation. And something that I've noticed online, and like people that have signed NDAs that are in kind of the promotion thing that have weighed in on it, a lot of them are like, you can't enforce any of this shit. It's like, okay, it's disparaging, but how do you define disparaging? I wasn't saying that people shouldn't buy the product. I wasn't saying that. I was just saying it wasn't up to the normal standards, where that's me in some ways setting expectations for the company and saying that they are a very good company. So you can't say that's me disparaging the product, because I'm saying your product's amazing, not this one. So you can't enforce this sort of thing very easily, but it's the 3-year non-compete that I think is just out of bounds.
So yeah, I mean, I just want to address Dinma, like, here earlier mentioning, like, let's not blame GW for terrible distribution during a pandemic when ports get locked down because of outbreak, shall we? No, I don't personally. I don't do that. No, I don't.
But
do
at least
that.
tell
Dayton-
people.
Dayton woke up. What's that, Dayton?
At least tell people then. Like, transparent. Like, when GW started turning into Good Guy GW, they were super transparent about everything.
When
Like, if there was a
Round
leak,
Bottom
if-
or whatever first took over,
Yeah,
when they started becoming.
if a leak and something came out, or a potato image or whatever, they'd just be like, make a joke about it, like, oh look, oh here it is, and look at what's coming down the pipe here, and people just ate that shit up because we just want to know what's going on. Like, that's it. We're enthralled with you. Just let us know what's going on. Like, we don't need to know the whole process or anything, but just like, hey guys, there's a shipment, the pandemic, things are gonna be delayed. Cool.
Yeah.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
You guys are trying to make money. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
And
I don't
like the thing that I found was there was like this big moment whenever they first started doing that, whenever it was Rob friggin' Symes and like somebody else, I think maybe it was Duncan, in a garbage bin being like, whoa, check out these sprues. Whoa. It's like they basically grabbed an iPhone and shot a video of them being idiots in the hallway. And that became like a point for everyone to point to be like, look, the company gets it now. I will like them more. I will put more faith into this company, and I will stand even harder. Meanwhile, both those people don't work for the company anymore because they treated them like shit. So it's just kind of funny. But like that's just kind of like a thing that I've noticed with GW, is that they have been able to lean at, where it's been like, oh, it's a leak. Oh, well, look at these crazy, terrible pictures. Well, here's a really nice picture.
I like when
All
it
right,
turns
talk
into
to you later,
a gag.
guys.
I do like
Yeah.
it when that turns into a gag. Like, they with the potato camera thing when it first happened. The first one I remember, it wasn't the vampires. It was right before the vampires. Which one was that? I don't even remember. In these, like, the gag was funnier than like what it was. Right, the models.
It was Slanesh?
It might have been Slanesh. Might have been something Slanesh. Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry,
How do you
Scott.
feel, bud?
Yeah.
I don't care about
Not
NDAs.
bud.
I
Good
mean,
answer.
Hot take right there.
I was in school all day, so I didn't really read up on the legalese of what's happening.
Would you think it would get Strong Bad fired up though?
Oh man, so I went to an NDA once, and it was a pretty cool club. But then it was like they started playing this techno music, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get to cheat. This is amazing.
But how do I draw Trogdor, the Burninator?
Oh,
Gunsmith
God.
fees, gunsmith.
Bring the countryside, burning it. So how about the
Yeah, man.
Stormcast?
Yeah, man, I can draw a dragon. I make drawing fun.
It's just to like kind of I guess put a bow on the NDA discussion. Anything to add, Nicole? I know you kind of in and out there too with the conversation.
I dropped it out there, and then I just backed away and let you guys talk about it.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Yeah, just be better.
Yeah, be
It's
better.
not that
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. I don't know. I don't know the person who leaked it. I thought it was weird that GW referred to themselves as GW in the NDA without defining what GW meant.
Yeah.
Jimmy says.
And like that, so that was done by a dude
He was
named Goobertown
down.
Hobbies, and he is like a legit.
Did we lose Tristan?
Uh-oh.
Almost
This
always.
has never happened before.
Almost always.
No, we mean.
What? First time.
I'll
I'm gonna keep track.
continue
That was
his
time
sentence.
number
I'll
1.
continue his sentence.
Yeah, you know him better.
Yeah. So, and then GW said 3 years, and I thought that was a long time.
No, Goobertown.
Oh yeah, Goobertown said
is a
3
smart
years was
dude.
too long, and
Yeah.
he's a smart dude.
No, 3 years is
Tristan.
absurd for that. I've signed a lot of NDAs in my life. I've never seen a non-complete that it's usually up to when the product releases. Like is standard. Like
Yeah.
or for Cubicle 7s it was when the date was when the release date was announced was when we were allowed to start talking about like the game we had play tested and stuff. Which is that feels reasonable to me. Like
Just chalk it up. Start making a list.
what was that?
Things that GW does bad. And just
I'll
add
leave
it
that
to
to
the
Rob.
list.
He's a lot better at that than me.
Just add it.
True.
Well done.
No, I don't know. I coming over from games journalism, I'm still trying to get my bearings straight in Games Workshop because some of the things they do like doesn't even like trip my radar. You know, where like other people are making mountains out of them. I'm just like, for me, this is Tuesday. You know, like,
Yeah.
and then other things I see, and I'm just like, the big one for me is the artists. If this NDA is true, it's
Agreed.
fucking pants on head stupid. No way in hell. But like,
And like
I
feel
don't
like
doubt
you
your
guys
source.
just
By the way,
love to hate him though.
what was that?
What's that?
I was just gonna say, I think you guys like to hate him. I think that's half the fun.
Hate
Like,
Games Workshop.
what can we hate GW for now? What
Possibly.
did they do wrong?
There's a catharsis in that, I think. Righteous indignation is the best human emotion one can feel. When you feel that you are totally justified in your anger, it's basically the best human emotion.
Basically described the anti-vaxxer movement.
Well, but they're
Yeah, I was gonna
wrong,
say-
right? Like,
Ooh.
How is living in Winkler?
Yeah.
no, like,
Fabulous.
but
Are
yeah,
we going there?
leaning into righteous indignation is just like, fuck, man, that built the internet. AVGN, like, what was it? The logical atheist, all that like righteous anger, like early YouTubers, early like Tumblrs and stuff. I mean, it's just part of the DNA of the internet right now. It's not just Games Workshop. People are like, why do we see so much negativity around Games Workshop's IP? And I want to do the like James Franco for like thing where I've got the noose around my head and like I turn over and like first time, like maybe I'm getting jaded in my old age. Like we're just like
Maybe we'll point at any of the other fandoms. How about that?
yeah,
Like,
like
oh,
go
let's look at
go
this
hang
company,
out with
let's look at this
Star
company.
Wars fans for a minute or two.
Oh my
Ooh,
god.
Asmodee just got bought out again.
Oh, good, but also brutal.
Who just got bought out again?
Did Disney
Asmodee.
sell Star Wars?
No, Asmodee got bought out.
No,
Oh.
they'll never.
Oh, that company that I don't know.
And they just, well, what happened was Star Wars Legion, Armada, and X-Wing got bought out by Asmodee from FFG. And that was a big, like, ugh. And then they cut Star Wars Armada, which really hurt the fan bases. But then they came out with there's a bunch of stuff coming out. It seems to be a decent place. Asmodee was also the ones that held MCP, which is gaining huge popularity right now.
It's Atomic. Is that Atomic Mass?
Yeah. But
Okay.
it's owned by Asmodee.
Oh, okay. Good.
So they just got bought out. So it's
Oh,
like
That's
it's
not good.
it's within like a year and a half span.
Jeez Louise, Marvel Crisis is in such a good place right now.
And it's still gonna be in a good place.
Okay.
Everyone's
But we
worried
lost-
about Crisis. That's why everyone's
Oh.
Flipping out about Crisis Protocol right now.
Yeah.
Because they just got bought. Oh,
they
that
just
makes
got bought.
sense. See, I worked. So you worked 12 hours. I worked 10 hours today. And for me, that's like 12 hours because I suck. I'm like, very lazy. I hate. having to work more than
I
that.
worked 10 hours today. You're fine.
Yeah.
Don't get 3 jobs.
I work with
You don't
12-year-olds.
recommend
It's like working 12-hour shifts.
I have 2.5.
Yeah, but
Nicole had the toughest day. Let's be fair.
Oh, really?
Putting up with
I think
Dayton.
I worked a
hang out with
grand
Trey?
total of
Did you
an
hang
hour
out with
and a half
Trey?
today. You bet I hung out with Trey and Kai. It was a
He's
great
awesome.
day.
Oh yeah.
I had one single meeting. I worked for a legit hour and a half today.
There you go.
Yeah.
Disney needs to
Isn't
make
that
more
here to make
X-Men
the
movies.
money?
Say hi to
Ooh.
Kai and Trey for me. I mean, Trey won't care, but say hi to Kai for me.
He'll care. Kai will
Oh, yeah?
definitely care more than just
Yeah.
because she's older and sweeter and like gets it.
Yeah.
Just because she's the
Yeah.
nice one, it's fine.
With a middle name of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Is that legit? I can't
Legit.
tell when you guys are
Mhm.
joking or not.
No, legit. It's on her birth certificate.
It's that Canadian
Cayenne
sincerity.
Skywalker
It's what it
over.
is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't speak Canadian natively. I only I get it sort of like dialectically from living in South Canada, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So I can pick up some of it, but not all of it.
You just like all dressed chips, poutine.
Yeah.
Dude, poutine's legit. Like
Donaires.
maybe it's our
When it's right.
I have a Tim Hortons story. My daughter is in Madrid. She's in
Continue.
Madrid, Spain,
Yep.
and she found a Tim Hortons in Madrid.
She found a Timmy Hose.
Yeah,
No.
she
They're everywhere.
gave an
What was her
audible
order, though?
gasp. She said she gave an audible gasp when she saw it.
Because it's
Dude,
gonna
like,
give her. It's gonna give her audible gas if she eats it.
But what did she
Wait.
order? What's her order there, bud?
I don't know. I think she ordered French vanilla
Double-double?
there. French
Oh,
vanilla.
Ooh,
the
that's
powder. Okay. Do
sweet.
they still do the powder? Do they still got the powder machine?
Yeah, it's still the powdery. I once had a triple. I didn't sleep for like 36 hours.
Have you ever had a Wayne Gretzky?
Chocolate. That's a hot milk
A
cake.
Gretzky in Alberta is that's 9 cream 9 sugar right there. There's
What,
barely.
Did you
Listen,
get the pack of cards too with it?
honestly,
What'd
okay.
you
Do you
get?
remember? Do you remember? Okay, wait. Time out. Time out,
Okay,
boys.
time
Do
out.
you remember the old smalls? Not the new smalls that are the mediums, but the old smalls that are the smalls.
Yeah, the smalls. They
Little-
barely fit. Like you put them in your cup holder in your vehicle and they just fall over.
They just be rattling around there. Be
Yeah.
like 6
Wow,
ounces.
those
of
Ford
caffeine.
F-150s, those cup
Whenever I
holders
was
are so
four-
big now, eh?
Oh, it's true. They got
I
really
gotcha. You
big
can fit a
cup
Yeti in
holders.
those guys. You
Oh,
can fit a
Easy.
Yeti
Yeah.
anywhere.
I fit a whole jam jar in there.
No, like a mason
Yes.
jar, a wide mouth
Yes.
mason, or a jam jar.
A jam jar, so not
Okay.
quite the wide mouth.
Yeah,
but
gotcha.
the normal mouth Mason.
Okay.
Not like that hit Canadian group wide mouth Mason.
Oh, wide
Not
mouth
like
mason.
them.
Do you know the uproar that caused when they tried to switch all those gem jars to wide mouth masons? All
Yes.
those
My
Hutterite
goodness.
ladies in this area, thousands of jars, are saying, "We are not throwing away our jars. You make those jar lids, those gem jar lids, or we're gonna like get angry. You don't want an
Hey.
angry Hutterite woman going after you.
You never want an angry headerite going near you.
No,
Come after you with a cudgel.
it's
But
dangerous."
just getting back to the point, where was I?
Okay.
I was talking about the 4x4, the monster
Ah.
truck.
Yeah.
But in a small cafe. So it was literally, quite literally, not even half literally, cream, 3/4 of the way up,
Yeah.
sugar, almost the rest of the way up, dash
Gotcha.
of coffee on top.
That's right.
For
That's right.
this flip of a lady.
Yeah.
Sheila.
Yeah.
Great
Sheila.
lady. She's
Sheila.
still kicking around town.
Oh, that's
But
right.
Sheila, she would come in and she'd rip them 4x4s just going off road, just like all day.
No,
Just
she
hitting the
wouldn't.
bus.
No, she wouldn't.
Right? She would all day. She'd come in thrice.
I'm getting
There
more
was a
wine. Keep
thrice
going.
every day. So
We're
she'd
good.
come in at the 8 o'clock. She'd come in for lunchtime, and then 4 o'clock before the full day workers went home.
Oh, she must have been shaken by the end of that third one.
No, bye. She was just ripping it straight. It was wild. It was just like one of them big Grant Healy hacky slapper shots.
Oh,
Just
was
straight
it
to the
like
dome?
far down? Far down.
Hey, did you
Far
ever hear
down,
about the
eh?
rumor that Tim Hortons sold their coffee recipe to McDonald's?
No, I never heard that.
Yeah,
I
that's how
don't-
McDonald's
I know how
coffee
they
got
roast it.
good.
I know McDonald's coffee is way better than Tim's coffee. So
Yeah,
I don't know
and
why
Tim
they
coffee
would.
sucks now,
No,
but it
it's
used to.
Dayton.
Whoa.
It is in fact always sucked, and they actually use a subpar type of bean,
True
and
dat.
they also have hilarious heshers that work for them. So they
Are
roast
there
almost all
beans
their
potatoes? By chance?
beans. The beans are not potatoes. Also, I like how Meph just left.
Oh yeah,
Well,
and
didn't even
true
do
dat.
I
that.
got
See
too
it.
Canadian.
All right,
Tim
that,
uh,
Hortons loses money on every triple.
Still going.
Tim
Okay,
Hortons
cool.
loses money.
I can finish another glass of wine and come
that is
back
not
again.
True. That is not true, but
No, it is. No, it is. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law and her husband are managers at 2 Tim Hortons in Edmonton.
Oh, they must be rich.
They are.
Ooh,
They
good
are.
for
Yeah, their house
them.
is big. Their house is like Barry Mansion big.
Oh, we're hosting a tournament there, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Edmonton. Yeah, it's Barry Mansion size. They lose money on a triple because there's
Who
so
the
much
fuck
cream
is
and sugar in
drinking a
it.
triple though?
Okay, I
That's a
understand.
heart attack.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
But then they make it back on all the foreign labor. Ooh.
No, they're not allowed to do that anymore.
So
temporary foreign workers.
their coffee costs about $3 a pound to get if you wanted to walk in and buy it yourself. So for them, it costs about maybe
Why would they
$1 a
walk?
pound. And like that to me doesn't make any sense. Like maybe the franchise loses money on it, but if you control the complete means of production on coffee and you are using such shit beans as Tim Hortons is, there's no way that you could be losing money on a triple, even
Well,
with
they're,
how expensive
Their
milk
food
is.
sales like tanked in the last
Oh,
like
yeah,
2
that's
years.
right.
That's because
That's
their
why-
food sucks.
But
So
it's
bad.
changed now.
This is the
Now they're like,
worst.
we got real eggs. Like, good job. It's a step up.
Yeah,
What
right
did you have
direction.
before?
That's
once
your
ate 'em.
big claim. Hey,
So you've been talking this whole time, and I stepped away to refill my wine in that because
I
it
grabbed
seemed-
a drink. You need a wireless headset, man.
It was a lot
No.
of Canada. It's fair. Take a
No.
break.
It was great. It's just I got to pick my moments. See, one of the RantCast drinking game. It's not just when you say 40K around here. It's when I leave the guests to what's called vamping, which is where they have to like fill dead air by themselves, or tangents, which this episode people are just blackout drunk right now. If they do it, this is not an official drinking game, by the way. Mephisto does not endorse the drinking game. Stay healthy.
You don't need to
Good.
drink to have fun.
What
That's right.
do you endorse?
I'm proof of that rule.
What
Just
do
so
I
you know.
endorse? Mostly the undead armies.
Mhm.
Tomb King Tristan.
Mhm.
Party at the All Points.
Well, nah.
Party
These are
at
new
the
party
All
people.
Points.
Yeah.
Don't
I
you
bet
think?
you say
No,
that to
so
all
I
your guests.
gathered from my context clues that this is a coffee place. Tim Hortons.
Uh,
You don't know what
yeah,
Tim
Oh,
Hortons
fuck,
is?
It's
he
a
doesn't
Dunkin'
even
Donuts.
You don't
know
know
what
it's a
Tim
Tim
Hortons
Hortons?
is.
no,
It's a Dunkin' Donuts.
that's what I
Oh.
thought.
So it's like the nationalist chain of Dunkin' Donuts, but it's somehow even more interwoven into the Canadian identity through
I'd say it's like one of the most top 5 Canadian just things
Yeah.
ever.
Do they
It's
sell
up there with Dairy
poutine?
Queen.
Do they like literally have
Triple
like
the
poutine on the
sales
menu
of
at the coffee
Starbucks.
place, or
No.
Yeah,
No.
well, you can get poutine.
like you go in there, you get like poutine,
You
a
don't want
flannel,
to get it at
like-
Tino's.
like there's like a flannel on a mannequin, and the like no.
Just
Is it
not
moose?
quite.
There's a guy in a moose costume with a hockey jersey on, and he.
does it look like? No, it's not quite that. That would be a good Tim
It's
Hortons
kind
one.
of close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't joke about final.
It's
we
not
just
quite
wear
as
it.
hot as this mug, but
I
Whoa,
love that
hey.
mug. Holy shit, that's the best mug I've ever seen.
Ooh,
Uh,
That's more
was-
on brand.
Was that a what OBR unit is that there, Meph?
That looks like a stalker.
It's a
That would
Kit
be a
Bash.
Mortec Mortec stalker because they have the 4 heads that they change.
And when
There
I'm
you go.
bored during a podcast, then I put fun tack in the eyes.
That's amazing. No, that's actually. Oh shit, he's poured because there's fun tack in the
No,
eyes.
that was put in the last podcast whenever he was listening to.
Just throw one,
Oh, yeah.
I don't
you
know.
hit a stick here. Yeah, see, Dunkin's is like it's like very Boston as far, but like they've obviously gone national, so it's not like American. And Starbucks, I know that like Starbucks is huge worldwide, but I don't really consider that like exporting Americana. Starbucks
No.
is Starbucks, you know.
Tim's is definitely exporting Canadiana.
Yeah, like Starbucks is just Starbucks.
Hotspur 12 just threw out the fact that there's about like 40 of them in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I've got family who live down there, and like I remember being like, "So, where's like a good place to go get coffee?" And my aunt like
Caribou.
super stoked, just like, "We go to Timmy's. Do you want to
We
go
can
to
take
Tim
the
Hortons?"
Canadian, take the
Oh,
Canadian to
cute.
Timmy's.
Go.
Let him go.
And
Just let him
I
go.
was like, she was
Oh, look
so excited. But I just looked at her and went, "No, I do not want to go to Tim Hortons unless we're getting donuts."
No, their
Wait.
donuts aren't good either.
Okay,
Dun-
listen, I don't got a lot of choices here.
Dunkin', dude,
Oh,
Dunkin'
Miss-
Donuts coffee is legit. So I had Alice from Goonhammer on last week, and we did a coffee meta at the end, and we both
I
agreed
missed
that
that.
Dunkin' Donuts is higher up than Starbucks, like S tier.
Hmm.
I neither
Starbucks
can.
sucks.
Starbucks is garbage. Their beans are shit, and I don't just mean like quality wise. I mean they. As someone who likes diner coffee, like I love diner coffee. If I can taste the burnt glass, like delicious. As somebody who likes that kind of coffee, I can't stand Starbucks coffee. Now it doesn't mean
doesn't.
Go ahead.
As a person who's like a huge coffee dork, they don't roast their beans well, so that's one of the main problems. They also don't buy great lots. That's another one of the problems.
Boom, roasted.
It's bang bean toasted.
Yeah.
Bang roasted.
So maybe you can weigh in on the
JK.
coffee meta that Alice and I have going here. Where does
to.
this Tim Hortons show up on the coffee meta?
It's
If trash
the-
tier like is literally Starbucks, and
So it is the bog standard that every bud that is not actually bud drinks. It is kind of like
as in the Canadian like
working man's
hey
cup
but
of
hey,
It's
coffee.
like,
it's hockey mom coffee.
It's definitely hockey mom, soccer dad, soccer parental unit.
I respect that personally. I respect
You can
that.
get it at any hours of the day. The main draw is the nostalgia that you feel whenever you're drinking it, even though it's terrible. Like the basic drink that you get there is called a double, and with that, it's 2 coffee, it's 2 cream, 2 sugar, and you're basically just drinking a hot milkshake.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's our go-to too.
But-
Like if we're out fighting a fire for like 10 hours, we
Yeah.
got the
There you go.
we got the Timmy hose
Yeah,
coming.
it's
Yeah,
and
you
like-
get them in the big boxes with like the
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, report card during report cards. Somebody comes
Mhm.
in with a box of those. Yeah.
See,
Whenever
there's
we gotta-
the blue collar. There's what I call like blue collar coffee. There's something
Yeah.
about blue collar coffee that for me hits the spot. Like I like a good like higher end like proper bean like with a pour over or like a good cold brew. But when it gets right down to it, like I need the coffee that resonates with my crippled soul. Like if I taste it and it tastes as bad as I feel, that's the good shit.
Hey Nicole,
Nicole's face
we
when I
saying?
said that
What?
just twisted.
are we like
What?
10 minutes? 10 more minutes?
Well, I don't know. I don't control your time. You
Alright.
can be here as long as you want to be
Oh,
here.
You're an adult.
No. I'd say
Yeah.
about 10
Don't-
minutes.
Don't
I
make
got 10
me
minutes.
tell
I'm
you what
peacing
to do while we're live on
Are
the
you trying to
internet.
tell Nicole that it's bedtime for her?
No, it's
Is that
bedtime
what
for
you
me.
do?
Yes, he is. They need
I
to go
never
watch an
tell her to
episode.
come to bed.
They need to go watch an episode.
I don't go to work tomorrow,
That's
but
true.
Dayton does.
Shocker. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. That's why we're doing it today.
Gun
I do.
Pocket says I need that poverty
so,
coffee.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so Tim Hortons ranks alongside gas station coffee, but it is not the same level as good gas station coffee. It's kind of like
Ooh.
mid-tier gas station coffee.
Okay. Now you're
But
speaking my
it does have a
language.
certain type of nostalgia and like
Mm-hmm.
Canadian identity that's also tied to it. So all the welders at my work, I'd say 90% of them drink Timmy's. And if they don't drink Timmy's, then they're probably drinking McDonald's because they're the refined welders at my work.
They welded
And-
and held it.
Yeah, exactly.
McDonald's coffee is actually just fine. Like
It's
McDonald's
I don't know,
fine.
It's
McDonald's
it reminds me of
Fine.
Blackstrap
That's a
molasses.
very accurate
I like it.
descriptor.
Yeah.
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's better than Starbucks.
It's-
I'd have McDonald's coffee.
Yeah, I was
over
gonna say,
Starbucks any
yeah.
day.
It is the next step up from Starbucks. If not, it's just so single note that like it just kind of tastes ashen if it gets cold. Even if you reheat it, it doesn't hold up. Like that's
Oh,
my
no
that's
way.
my go-to for coffee if I haven't made coffee at home.
Caffey.
Caffey. That's his Islander
Caffey.
accent coming out.
Coffee talk.
That's a
Caffey.
caffey.
You gotta get the coffee.
there.
I
Well, for
never
Clint-
know when I hit my Islander accent, but
You
every
hit the
person from
Islander-
fucking
yeah.
Western Canada will always tell me.
You hit Anna Green Gables hard there. That sounded bad.
I'll give
It's
you
the
a
best
subject.
thot- Yeah. Whoa.
To be fair,
Don't
I've
be
slept with
hitting
Anna Green
Ann.
Gables. What?
To be fair,
To be fair.
To be
To be fair.
figured out.
figured out.
TikTok.
Right on. I love that. Like Hades is like, I know this sounds hypocritical as an Aussie, but I have no idea what the fuck any of you are talking about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like when
Pretty niche.
As an
Canadian
Aussie,
chips?
you could walk down the fucking street and get better coffee than every one
can't.
of us could.
They're in
so fuck
lockdown.
you.
Yeah,
That's
they're-
true. You can't
they
walk
just
down
had an
the
earthquake, too.
street.
So hopefully they're doing
no,
well.
I see it. I don't know. Like I said, the. Amen. No, sorry, catching up on chat there. All right.
Mhm.
So we filled out the whole part of the show where everyone stopped watching. Actually, no, we've held 20 viewers this whole time. It's kind of phenomenal.
Nice.
Usually after an hour,
We're
you get
very entertaining, good looking,
so
I'm pretty amazing.
and engaging.
so
And tall. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh,
Oh,
me.
he walked away. He walked away.
I'm done.
Oh,
I'm done.
Hey, Bud's taller than I am.
Oh yeah, that's
Not by
right.
much though.
No.
You're
Not by much.
Wait, what? You're shorter than Bud? No.
I am an average height for a female.
For wait, what
In
type
the
of
hobby?
female?
In the female in the hobby.
As a
As an
Jewish female in the
average-
hobby.
In the hobby.
As a female in the hobby whose average height, I'm 5'5.5". How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
no,
Hmm,
you're
Good
not.
for you.
Just about everyone in that.
6'1 3/4". Fuck you. I'm 6'2" and I'm Air Max 95.
In your heart, maybe in your heart, Tristan.
I went to NashCon
I played
and
taller.
I just stood among giants there. Like
Yeah.
literally. I was the shortest person.
Yeah, but you're
Except for
incredibly
Brendan.
short.
Oh, I think
So
I'm
good,
taller than
though.
Brendan Melnick. I think I'm
That's
taller
Brendan
than
Melnick, yeah, the Lord of Death. He's about Tristan's height, I'd imagine.
Is he
Who,
is he the
Brendan?
Lord of Death because he is like almost 6 feet under just because of how short he is?
No, he's the Lord of Death because he won the Adepticon best death or whatever, that sort of like the second inaugural year or whatever, and then he went on to win best death trophy at virtually every event we have in the Midwest, which is more events than basically our whole country has.
Yeah.
Just because we're.
I respect the fact that you answered that like seriously.
You're welcome. Yeah, I had to bring it back.
Thank
I had
you.
to anchor.
Bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Getting out of hand in here.
All right.
Yeah.
What's Dinma saying?
Bad Chain Coffee is
Bad
still the same cup of mediocre cup every time, and better than the worst you ever had. So what you are doing is getting consistency. And while it's not
Worst-
great, it's not as horrible as the time you took a chance on that random coffee shop that one time. I mean that's the thing is like one of the things about like sort of like a fast food chain is if you travel, you at least know if you get the cheeseburger at the fast
The
food chain,
restaurants.
you're gonna get
Yeah,
the cheeseburger at the fast food chain, right?
you know what you're getting.
100%.
Yeah. And
I know a lot of my friends that are touring musicians like will ask for Starbucks gift cards in their Christmas cards or whatever from pals just for that reason.
Hey, Nicole, remember when we saw that guy taking a dump on the side of the van when we drove by?
I keep going to like ask like Warhammer questions, and then like a new tangent starts.
His posture
actually
was,
good.
it broke ground. Like, I didn't know you could do that. He leaned his back against the van with his legs out and was just shit. Like, he was just taking his time right beside
Wait,
the
was
road.
it driving? Oh no, okay.
No,
No,
like
no.
we drove
Oh,
past.
no.
We drove
We were
past.
just driving.
like I'm like honestly, if they're
Truly-
driving, you got to respect the technique. Like,
Truly one of the wildest things I've ever seen. I don't know how you got there, but yeah, I remember, and it haunts
Coffee.
me.
We're talking coffee, and that's how I got there.
Dayton.
well, coffee's.
How
And
did
like
you get
not
there?
a kid. You know, like I get it. Like we have small kids, you know, like when you gotta go, sometimes you gotta go. But like a grown ass adult just shitting on the side of the highway. Like not even off to the side, just like barely pulled over.
And you live in the mountains,
Yeah.
like.
This
We
wasn't in the
do,
mountains.
but I don't feel like that should matter.
It's okay because
We don't do
I
that.
feel like the mountains. You just
No,
like
It's mountain people doing that.
Yeah, it's just mountain folk. Like I play fantasy RPGs. I know that mountain folk are different. Like.
This is the Canadian Rockies, okay? Shit gets weird.
Yeah, man, that's how those polar
Literally gets weird. Yeah,
literal
Literal.
shit gets weird.
literal shit
Oh,
gets weird. Yeah.
Literally.
I was
Yeah,
doing
but-
play-by-play. I was doing play-by-play for a hockey game, and it was like up in the booth was really far from the bathroom, and it was intermission, and there was no way I was going to get to the bathroom, and I really had to go. So let's just say there's still a Gatorade bottle sitting in the Dolphin Arena in the play-by-play booth.
Oh, we take like air
Ed.
filters, like because air filters for the 400-ton trucks are like massive, and they're perfect. You take a brand new one because they got the nice rubber
All right.
seat around there,
Oh,
and then you
yeah.
sit in there,
Alright.
and then you just put it back in the box.
So you brought us here, Dayton. Have you ever had to shit while fighting a fire, and how'd you deal with
What?
it?
No, actually, it's funny. Like
The fear poops never happen.
adrenaline just takes everything out of you,
Yeah.
and rarely do you even need to take a whiz. But yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
awkward.
take it out of you. It keeps it up.
Yeah, it's
in
it's,
there.
it's adrenaline's more of
But
a
you do,
soak.
you do take a whiz at some point, and that's always interesting too.
Because you're
Like you haven't been
peeing out the
mid firefighting, and then like the host has reminded you that you have to pee, and like that doesn't happen.
Well, you're
Okay.
surrounded in water at all times. Like it's gonna get you at some point, but
All right. You took us here. This was your punishment. I had to ask the embarrassing question live.
this
on
isn't
air.
punishment for me, Matt.
Gotcha.
You don't know me
Gotcha.
very well.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Journalism.
I was gonna say.
No,
Don't
not
get him
punishment.
started.
He's
No
like,
chorus.
let's go
No
in
chorus.
depth on
It's
this
circles.
conversation.
It's all circles, no chorus.
Nicole is cringing right now because she knows.
Dayton
He
loves
was ready
scat.
to peace out. Did you hear him? 10 minutes ago, he was like 10 minutes, and now that we're talking about shit and weird things, he's like, okay, I'm back in. Let's do it.
I'm here for scat chat.
Yeah, scat chat. Oh no, adrenaline shuts off.
Welcome to Scat Chat, the part of the show where we compare scat.
Well, if y'all do have bedtimes, I know you're in the future as compared to me, so I guess we can like
They're in the past, motherfucker. I'm the one that's in the future.
You can have Tristan all night.
I'll keep Tristan all night. He's mine now. At
It's
least for the rest
fucking
of the night.
midnight.
Yeah, I know. This is
He's
crazy.
got an axe.
It's
Why does
big-
he have an axe?
He's been pulling it out
It's
off
my-
and on. I don't know if he's like threatening
Mhm.
me, like
Mm-mm.
if he's like this is real Canada, like just a random
It makes
axe.
me feel. Thank you. It
If
makes me
he's
feel
trying to
strong.
axe the questions around here, like
It's a
Oh,
hatchet,
that's
first of
clever.
all.
Yeah, it's
Second
no
of all, I
plastic.
used it to cut my green stuff. Third of all, I'm currently pressing out some blue stuff molds. Fifth
used
of
one-
all,
I used one to
Party
cut
at the
wood.
All Points
One
is
too.
a
Look.
podcast.
Mhm.
What? What's that?
Oh, don't
Oh,
interrupt me.
hey!
Bud has an axe too.
I got
Doing that
That
same
looks real
trick.
legit.
Yeah, come on, Tristan.
He's pumping the show. Let him do it.
I got scared. This thing isn't
Don't-
that sharp. It's
Don't
just
do
a
it.
hatchet.
Don't do it.
Jesus, don't do that.
Yeah,
I'll do
that's
that.
It's a bad
scary.
idea.
That works.
Matt, get
So
some control of your show here. Tristan's gonna hurt himself.
yeah, if you
Start
don't
to
follow
circle.
if you don't follow Party at the All Points on your favorite podcast app and give them 5 stars, Tristan will axe himself. Don't do that
Oh.
because he will get me
Dark.
banned.
I don't
From
want to
Twitch.
ask him to do that
Yeah, no.
because that would be accidental.
I mean, it would be real cutting edge content, but I think I would get banned from Twitch.
Yeah, you get.
yeah, I'm just not that sharp, guys.
not.
Get it back up in its resting place.
Listen, we got split, so
Gun pocket got me.
Yes. How was your trip to Nashville, Bud? Like, I know that you kind of mentioned it a little bit on your show, so you don't need to go like full in depth. People can watch it, but
I love hearing about this.
I caught the
One-
sort of like the travel stream, and
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was like kind of the last I heard of it. But yeah, was this your first trip to America? Like your first trip to
Oh.
yeah.
So it was first year. No, like I've been to the States oodles and oodles
Oodles
and
of time,
oodles and
okay.
oodles. That's the furthest south I've been. The furthest south I'd been before was like Kansas City, St. Louis. So I hadn't been to the south. My brother lives in Pennsylvania, so I have lots of
thought-
reason to go to the U.S.
Is Kansas the South,
Yes.
or is it like middle South?
We count it as South here in America. I don't know what they
Well,
say about themselves.
In Wisconsin, I wouldn't call it the south.
Oh, okay.
It's not
yeah, it's true.
the deep South, but it is
Wisconsin.
Bible
okay.
Belt. I
But
consider
I
anything
just-
in the Bible Belt or below South.
Okay.
Now,
I'd
when
never
you
been to
say
Nashville
America,
before. Oh, God.
do you feel like the Midwest is more America than the South?
Yes. No, unironically, yes. Like, I think that like depending on what section of the South you're in, it's like a fucking foreign country. But
There you go.
Yeah. Anthony
like being in
Polcastro
Quebec.
gets really mad if you say that Tennessee is Midwest and not South.
Oh, I love making him mad. So that sounds
we
good.
consider
Yeah.
them Midwest, but only because we've
Noted.
conquered them and like we've planted the flag down there. Like our tournament
It's like
players,
the fucking moon.
yeah, like our tournament players like go down there and win NashCon usually, and
Okay.
Dayton,
Look at that.
don't
Oh.
embarrass her.
Yeah.
For God's
Oh.
sakes.
We do live in the
Aw.
same house.
Look at his arms. Oh my God, Nicole.
I told
what's
you he's a
up?
giant man.
He's
He
a
put
he's
those
a
arms
very
around
attractive
me,
man,
yeah.
and he's got like the proper widow's peak. Like
And he's got wax in his ears now from
Oh,
Nicole.
yeah.
It's cute.
They're very clean. Thank you very much.
Yeah. First you call her an old hag, and then an old bag, and now
It's
you
an
say she's
old
got wax in her
hag.
ears. Name saying she smells like haggis.
Tristan.
Listen here, you old man. Maybe clean your ears.
Oh yeah, I do all the time. They have a
All right,
lot of
Meph.
hair in them, so I got them.
He legit has a doctor's appointment for that in like 2 weeks.
What,
so
for
no
cleaning out his
joke.
ears?
I get coal in my ears all the time.
Oh no, you gotta get candled. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, they
Mhm.
got the black
It
lung.
doesn't burn the coal. Doesn't burn the coal. That's too hot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Meph, for having us on.
No, thanks for coming on.
Let's
Like,
let's
it was
do
a blast. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah.
I
Nicole.
love
Nice to
this.
meet ya.
I never get to talk to Nicole, so this has been the best part of my day.
As a woman in the hobby.
As a woman.
As a Nicole, as a woman in the hobby,
Yeah, so now you speak
have
for
you
all
enjoyed
women in
new
the
Jewish
hobby.
food?
How good is
Have you
AOS
enjoyed-
3.0? And that will be
Okay.
like women, like 9 out of, or 10 out of 10 women polled say AOS
10 out of
3.0
10
is.
women recommend.
Yeah.
That's not the best loaf of bread. I'd just like to say, for you to be holding a loaf of bread behind me right
This
now,
looks homemade,
I've
though.
made better. It is homemade, but I had an issue with the rise today. I used a different yeast.
Oh, what yeast did you use?
Do you culture your own yeasts?
So I do sourdough. If we want to really go down that path.
Yeah, no, I do. I
Um,
do. I
but
do
that's
so
good.
much, so badly want to go down that path. Like, so
Okay, let's talk about bread.
you.
Let's
Okay.
talk about bread.
Okay.
This is payback for
Let's talk
hockey
about
earlier.
bread.
Let's go.
Was the water too
Te-
hot when
teach me
you
about bread.
put the yeast in, or?
No, so that's not a sourdough. So my sourdough is
Okay.
pretty no fail. I've got that down to a science.
Yep.
This is kind of like your regular sandwich bread.
Yep.
Generally, I use like the yeast you get in a little packet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fleischmann's or something.
I've always used that.
Mhm.
Doesn't really matter, but yeah, Fleischmann's. Yeah, actually,
There you go. Ding ding.
always no fail.
Yellow and orange.
But I
Yep.
I didn't have any today, so I
Uh-oh.
used like an instant rise yeast that I use for other breads. I use it to make French bread,
Okay.
and it just did not rise the same. So I'm a bit disappointed. I'm still gonna feed it to our children,
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Give them the
and they will
dregs.
live.
Just put peanut
Yeah,
butter
yeah.
on it. Like, it's
Make some brown gravy
Yeah.
and
it's fine.
you know, I made cinnamon buns when I was at Jacob Berry's for NashCon.
Hey, how come you didn't make cinnamon buns when you came to our house?
Great question.
Bud?
Bud, what's
That's
your
a great
rebuttal?
question. I played. I balanced that with playing with Trey and Kai and reading stories to them. And
Fair.
Sure,
So-
you did
That's
bring the
fair.
children presents.
So-
So,
I brought them presents.
You
I
did
tried
bring the kids presents.
Is this
Papa
a bread
Bud.
terminology? I tried olive oil in the soup the other day, and it was fire. So, like, is the soup like the concoction of the?
No. I believe they're talking about putting olive oil in tomato soup, which would be a very specific reference to the last episode of Party at the All Points.
I love it.
Yeah. Put
I
some
do,
olive
yeah.
oil in your tomato soup.
There you
It's
go.
not a bad, it's a good call.
There you go.
I-
So-
10 out of
so-
10 recommend.
So you said your sourdough recipe is no fail. Now, I just learned exactly today, which is why I'm interested in this. And I believe you lean into the idiosyncrasies of life when you spot them. You make like essentially like your own yeast. You culture your own yeast for sourdough. How do you
Yep,
do that?
yep.
What the hell is that? I just saw that it's something you do, but I don't know what the hell it means. So
It's literally just flour and water.
that's like I thought it was something
so
more
here's the
magical than
thing.
that.
No, it's just flour and water. So about 5 years ago, I said I was going to try and make sourdough, and I made my own starter, and I baked probably like a dozen loaves, and they were all the shits. And I gave up, and I said I will never make sourdough again. And then the pandemic hit, and everybody and their dogs making sourdough.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you're telling me these effers can do it. I'm going to do it. So I tried again.
These effers, jeez, eh?
These whole language, eh?
And it
This-
worked.
These HE double hockey sticking effers.
Well, like I thought it was a meme, but people really did learn how to make bread during the fucking pandemic.
1,000%.
100%,
And that's
yeah.
why I was like,
Doggo!
if I'm doing this.
Dog, dog,
I'ma
dog, dog,
do
dog, dog, dog.
it.
Hi, Rox. Is that Rocksteady?
That's right.
I hope the other one's name is Bebop. Tell me the other one's Bebop.
It couldn't be any other way. Yes, we have a Bebop and a Rocksteady because you can't have one without the other.
Y'all are awesome.
But Bebop sleeps in our daughter's room, so
The whole reason
Yeah.
I ended up
He's been
in
in bed for
nerdery is
hours.
because of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was like my anchor.
yeah. When I decided to go into journalism, I thought I was going to be April O'Neil. So
This
That
explains
makes
why I like
that
you
makes
so
total
much.
sense.
Mm.
No,
One
no, this
yellow
explains why I
jumpsuit
like you the most
later.
of the whole like
Mhm.
Party at the All Points crew. and Tristan included,
Yep.
even though I've known him longer.
Yep.
Mm.
It's fine.
We
No,
should
I-
all get
Nicole's
yellow
everyone's
rompers.
Like I wanted to go yellow rompers. Yes.
Yes. No, brompers.
Romper.
What's a bromper?
Bromper.
Is
If you
this
want to talk a bromper,
what's a bromper? Oh my god, is
Dayton
this
has to
something?
come
Dayton,
back.
come back.
It's
Hey, he's
is
right here.
Is he wearing
Dayton.
No,
it?
he's not wearing it right now.
Oh, okay.
So Dayton has
I'm gonna need
tournament
you to
garb.
put your bromper on.
So Dayton has tournament garb, and it's a bromper, aka a bro romper, aka a romper for men, aka a romper that doesn't need to be gendered in some weird way.
It's a onesie.
So
That's fine.
Shorts
it's
and
a
and
one
shirt.
piece with shorts. Yeah, that's right. It's a lovely blue that looks great on him with some orange. I think it's fish. Is it fishies?
Pineapples.
Pineapples. That's right. It's
Oh,
orange
nice.
pineapples.
Even
Which
better.
is just like that surfs up. And he looks super cute in it.
He looks
He
awesome.
fills it out well. And the last time he went out with Bud, actually,
Yeah.
he met another dude in a romper.
It was at a
It was
gay
great.
pride burlesque show.
Which for a Mennonite, that was a great night.
Oh, it was fabulous. It
Yeah.
was a learning experience. It was a sociological investigation on my
See,
part.
I'm actually like I heard about like sort of a drag queen story time, and I'm really upset that we don't have one in my town because I would
Ooh, yeah.
completely take my children to that.
Yes.
We actually like
Mhm.
the bar we used my friend used to DJ at was the one gay bar right in town, and they had a drag show, and it was literally the best night of that bar every month. Like was the drag show. Like it's just
Sweet.
sorry.
My neighbor just started doing drag brunches, and it looks like it's fucking wicked.
How do you get an invite to that?
Yeah.
Well, he's actually doing it at a venue. So
Yeah.
it's actually at like a restaurant / like music venue.
If you're, I mean, you're so checking. You're watching on Twitch right now. There's an entire subculture on Twitch of like essentially drag video gaming. It is fantastic. Like sometimes they'll do like makeup streams. Like it's if that's your like jam, or even if you're just like sociologically curious, check it out. Like get some diversity in your life, yo. So that's enough. But yeah. So you actually like when did you want to get into journalism? Like, did you know immediately? Was it April? Like, you watched TMNT, you saw April O'Neil in the yellow jumper, and you're like, that's it?
I mean, I want to pretend like I wasn't every probably white small child ever who thought they wanted to be a veterinarian for a long time.
I went to
'Cause I
vet
did.
camp.
That's
Yeah.
Lulu.
Yeah, I when I was 15, I got a job working at a vet's office, and it took me about 2 weeks to be like, I can't do this. I can't be there when they put the dogs down. It's too much. Also, I'm really, really bad at science and math. So at about, I guess, 15 or 16, I was like, well, I need a new plan. And yeah, I'd always written, liked the arts, studied English lit for a little while, which is a super useful thing to study, but it means you get to read books and write about books. And if I could just like write essays about novels for the rest of my life, that'd be cool, but it doesn't pay very well. Spoiler alert, neither does journalism.
No,
Yeah.
the
So,
go on,
yeah.
finish your point. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Jacob Barry,
so
the one
sorry.
thing he'll
Yeah.
joke with me about is paid with exposure. Like anytime like he sees a paid with exposure thing, he like tags me in it, and usually a gif of someone flipping a table or something like that. As journalism, it's hyper competitive, super saturated. Like most people in it don't have a background in it. Like they're just like, oh, I can write about stuff, and like going back to the NDA thing, just like very briefly, someone was like, well, who's the source? Who's the source? And I'm like, the trace to Reddit, and the Reddit person didn't out who it was. You don't out a in confidence source. That's part of the journalist credo.
Nope.
And like the thing I take the
101.
least amount of issue with is not knowing who the anonymous source is. I'm like, you don't out them. You protect the subject as a
Yeah.
journalist, which means
That's
the
your
person
job.
the person that you're writing the story about, you're actually supposed to protect them in your story. So this perception that you do like a hit piece, or like you're trying to like you're trying to destroy the thing you write. No, like you're actually supposed to protect the subject. And and you're supposed to protect your sources.
Tina.
And then obviously like truth and all these other things are like in the journalist credo as well. And I'm like, so like it's hyper competitive. Like there's a lot of politics with it, like who you know, like anything else, like, and you pay your dues with internships and like and paid through exposure, which means you have to have some sort of privileged status to do that shit to begin with. Because if you're not wealthy or independently wealthy, or you don't have parents you can live with, if you don't have cisgendered white male where you have other privileges like stacked on top that if you do, it's so hard to fucking do. And like even if you have the full privilege status, even if you have like independent income or independent wealth, like it's still saturated. It's cutthroat, and it's really interesting. Sorry, I keep just prattling on here. It's really interesting because I feel like almost like everyone going into podcasting is almost like a sort of like trying to find their like inner journalist again a little bit. You know, of all the ones of us that got discouraged or thought about doing it as a career before our teachers told us it's not a real job and pick a real career. Why do a bunch of 30-somethings start podcasts? You know,
or 40-somethings. You know.
Yeah,
that's true.
Oh yeah,
they're doing it too.
Not me. Some of those people.
Yeah.
But other guys.
It's really funny that I went from broadcasting into teaching so that I could tell people they shouldn't go into broadcasting.
Hades, there's a difference between citing your sources in terms of like references, like material you reference, and your sources and the people. If a person gives you information in confidence, you protect that source. It's part of like the whole way, like, because the way journalism, like, if you actually think about like the classic like investigative journalist trope from like the 20s through 40s, like pick a movie where they go and get the person off the record and yada yada yada. That all comes from like this culture of journalism, knowing that like bigwig politician guy who on the record has to run and win an election but knows some shit behind the scenes. They're not going to tell you anything if it endangers their campaign. So like the most credible journalists are the ones that are the most protective of their sources, because they can get the scoop from the sources that normally won't say shit or won't go off the script. Like, and it's all like a sort of like, it's just, off the record. And it's the times where they were a changing, as Bob Dylan says, right? The times they are a changing. When I would have been a journalist, my first dream was to write and illustrate my own books, like Roald Dahl. And then as I got older,
not too late.
Yeah, no, I want to work on a couple of children's story with my children. I want so like
do it.
That was the first thing I ever wanted to do. As I got a little bit older, I realized that like it was impractical to like do that because my teacher said. So I'm like, oh, journalism's a real career. You can be a writer. There's a path to like getting hired for that. So I said journalism, and right when I go to college, print is basically dying all around me. And so, like, journalism, YouTube wasn't out then. I think Tumblr was. But, like, there was no way I could have known when I was in college what I should have went into if all I wanted to do was just kind of, like, be the modern journalist. And so, sorry, that's a bit of my story. But it's part of why I love it.
It's a bonkers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just bonkers field, right? And you're, like, it changes, like, from minute to minute. Like what I went to school for, I studied broadcasting, had already changed in the like 4 years I was in school for it. So when I finished and I'm doing unpaid internships for like CTV in Vancouver, already the technology and the process is changing. And then we ended up moving to the mountains in the middle of nowhere, and I worked in print. It's just a dying industry. And it's so, I feel like it's such a romantic, like, job, right? Like, it's such an old-fashioned, like, passionate, cool, romantic thing that you want to do. But the pay is...
Yeah.
And if I could go back in time and talk to, like, young Nicole, I would be like, you got to think about stuff like how much you're going to get paid. And if you can, like, make a living wage doing this. And, like, if you're one day going to go have a baby, is it going to be worth it for you to go back to work, or are you going to go do something else because your childcare is going to cancel out? Like but it's such a cool job.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to try and go back now, like it changes every year.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and
it's cool.
The perception of news has completely altered. Like I got on a little bit of a tirade earlier about the 24-hour news cycle, but even now we have new news, like NU news. The whole thing is like people aren't getting their news from like CNN and okay, I know 50 to 68 demographic is getting their news predominantly from literally Fox News. But like the bulk of the rest of the demographics are getting their news from YouTubers and shit now. TikTok and YouTube.
And Facebook.
Like the nature of news has completely shifted. You know, think about like this NDA thing. We will probably never know the truth of it because the way that news it's not about, and it's always been about selling a good narrative. Don't get me wrong. What's your line? What's your line? What's your, you know, what is your...
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
I mean, that said, like CNN has people dedicated to knowing that they got the facts right, but they're going to just, where the media bias comes in is like in picking the line. What do you cover? Like, and stuff like that. Like,
what angle? How do you lead into it?
Right. Like, you know, you're going to say the factually correct thing, you know, with like some statistic, like, and you're going to have a vetted source on that. It's everything around it. It's even history is about the narrative. I mean, one of my favorite YouTubers is Step Back History. A Canadian. His big thing is that like I think his name is actually Tristan. As well, by the way. It's not this Tristan. His whole thing is that like history is about a narrative. Like the like what is actual history is like you can look at like shipping dossiers and journals and crap like that you think of history as like this purely objective thing. We can study history and we know all this stuff happened. But the way you study history is through like purely subjective means. People's 100%. Journals, like the recounts of a battle from some general, like, and that general wasn't the RTS world like Warhammer. Like, think about like how you narrate your own Warhammer battle report, and then like if you have like say like you know Bud and Bud goes on and does like a recount of like his NashCon, and if you go and listen to like even trying to be like perfectly like objective, this is what happened A B C D E, right? And then you listen to like say you happen to play an opponent with their own podcast, and they go and recount. What was that?
Cubic shenanigans.
Yeah.
You can listen back to my game against Brendan.
Yeah. So you can listen to Brendan and yours. There's going to be some stuff that lines up in the middle, and you'd be like, okay, that's the truth. But you're both going to have like things that were different, right? And when you go to like recount in 100 years, and all we have is like those two podcasts, finding out the truth of what happened in that battle in a game is virtually impossible still. So it's about selling the narrative to viewers in the future. Like, history is imperfect. It's, you know, they often say history is written by the winners, and I would say history is written by the zeitgeist. It's not even just the winners. It's people picking positions. And journalism is kind of trying to do all that crap in real time. Podcasts I like podcasts as they exist right now. I love the live format because of this back and forth and the audience interjection. Like, this media format right now, as someone who like has an interest in journalism, has an interest in broadcast, this to me is like peak. The only thing that could make this better is if like we could like phone a friend who could get all the facts and details I forget in real time.
Yeah.
But that takes away the authenticity. I feel like the mistakes, and that's what makes it genuine anyways. It's more fun.
Oh, the mistakes terrify me. That's why I so I didn't go into broadcasting to be a print journalist because I don't think I'm a very good writer. But radio, and I didn't want to be in front of a camera really, but radio, that was the romanticism that you talked about too, where it's like, but I got to a point where like if you're in radio, you have to do all these other things. Like you have to do the public address at the hockey games, you have to MC the festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
And at that point in my life, like getting a name wrong and someone correcting me, it was like, God, like every time I'm pronouncing a name, I'm like terrified that I'm getting this wrong. you're doing a hockey game, and the referee comes and he gives you 4 penalties, like to 4 different guys, and then I've got to be, because you're sitting right in the penalty box. It's not like pro hockey where you get to be upstairs and it's all typed out for you. And like I'm trying to write this down, and people are waiting to hear what the penalty calls are, and I'm checking over 3 times to make sure I got the right. Okay, he got cross-checking. He got 2 for roughing in a game. That guy, he got slashing and unsportsmanlike, and I don't even care about that guy anymore at that point.
So
But that, that
Hockey games are the
anxiety.
worst.
so you
Holy
went into
cow.
you went into broadcast journalism as well.
No.
No,
What?
no.
Wait. Are you implying that I got training? No. I showed up at somebody found out that I was interested in getting into radio, and so then I got to work at the local radio station, and then I ended up producing commercials and like running the board
That
in the
counts.
afternoon, and then I did play-by-play for hockey for 1 year for Random, and then I became a news director.
Well, play-by-play hockey is like its own. I mean,
Became a news director.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
right?
I know, right?
That's the big change between having a 4 in front of your number and having a 3.
no. I mean,
Yeah, it wasn't that much.
I don't want to like underplay at all like your experience in broadcast and journalism. By the way, I think this is completely relevant. First of all, you have a fantastic voice for radio.
Oh, thanks.
I
Face
don't know
for it,
about your
too.
cadence has been a little wobbly tonight. Your modulation has been a little wobbly tonight. You gotta work on that a little bit.
I don't even know what that means. Do I
You
need
saying
to?
you're pitchy.
No, modulation. You gotta like, hey,
I know.
like,
Oh.
like, yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Winkler Recreation Complex for tonight's Manitoba Junior Hockey League matchup between the Winkler Flyers and the Dauphin Kings. You mean like that?
Fantastic.
10 out of 10.
Oh my god!
yeah.
I'm just gonna someone clip that shit. Someone clip that shit right now.
When Bud throws a gauntlet, it's like, oh, okay, fuck you. Why do I do the intro? Fuck you.
Yeah, why is Tristan doing the intro when you've got that magic in you?
Because Tristan is.
Bud is
mad.
just like, yeah, sure. Believe in magic.
We sent the firemen to bed early apparently. 12-hour days back to back or something like that. Plus kids. Somebody's got to be up with the kids early tomorrow, right?
So
Nicole.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, but to be fair, he gets up and goes to work at like 5 a.m. and then the kids and I get up at like 7 o'clock. So
yeah,
True
I get
story.
up at 5 a.m.
who's
and
the
it's-
winner?
Yeah.
I got up
You
at
know?
5 when I was at their place.
I got up at 5 today.
I'm
and
going to
it's
bed about 5
12
o'clock.
now.
If I had to get up at like 6, couldn't make
Yeah,
it work. But
it's-
6:30, then I get my beauty sleep.
Oh,
No. I don't want to downplay like your background in broadcast. You said 9 years, I think, when we were off air. You've done basically, yeah. I mean that's legit. And play-by-play is kind of the OG of Twitch chat as far as I'm concerned, because you have a live audience screaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as much as Chat Gang can spam me with the wonderful Chat Gang emojis right now, it's not the same as like the audience like, on the whim changing with your mood and were you the arena announcer, like the one that's announcing for the arena, or were you the one that like goes onto the radio broadcast?
So I've done both. So when I talk about play-by-play, that's like the on the radio in the rink describing what's happening. The Flyers will be going from left to right on your radio dial, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like I did the public address for a number of years, like in the rink as well, which is very different. Like I like play-by-play a lot more. I mean, that's what everyone dreams about, right?
Yes.
They want to be the Jim
Well,
Hewson. Or
I like
Don
color.
Whitman.
I actually like doing the color versus the play-by-play, but
Yeah, color's good too. That's definitely a different beast. You got to think of all these different ways to
witty
describe a helmet or describe a shot, and not like Riley and Jonesy.
you're trying to get people in on the action, and
Yeah.
you got to paint them a picture with your words, wordsmith, right?
Yeah, and the worst is when you first start doing play-by-play, and then you have to do an exhibition game, or like you do the preseason game, where like who knows what lineup the opposing team is bringing and what guys they have, and they don't even have them on their roster, and you're trying to figure out who all these guys are as the play is happening. And you're just like, okay, I'm just going to skip that guy had the puck and try to move seamlessly onto the next part because I have no idea who that is.
So this is really funny because one of the first broadcast things is, I'd sold a couple like journalistic articles to a few places. I'd been paid in exposure, but one of the first times I like used my voice and got paid money was actually shoutcasting League of Legends for a convention. God, this is like 8 years ago. It was before Colin was born, before my son was born, it's weird because as a parent, like I use my kid as my timeline now, and before my kid, I used school, like where I was in school, and this is over 8 years ago. One of the first thing ever for using my voice, and so like League of Legends was just dominant in terms of like video gaming and just the culture and what it's done for like esports broadcast and stuff like that. Like I posit like Street Fighter shoutcasters are like literally the best in any format. Hockey's dope too, and you got to give some credit to like kind of like the OGs with like the Coscells and stuff like that. But like
This is Howard Cosell.
But he had the voice, and you knew you were watching Howard Cosell. Like,
it's Monday Night Football on ABC.
Yeah, like you've got those like some of those OGs. But one of the first times I got paid money was to run like a bunch of tournaments and like broadcast it so we could get interest, right? And you're like you look at like the League of Legends stuff, which is like kind of beginning to formulate people's idea on a mass scale of what broadcast of a game should look like. That's nerdy and shit. And yeah, I know StarCraft was on ESPN2 back in the day, and so was the MTG Finals. Like I know all that stuff. But in terms of zeitgeist, it was LOL. And like you look at what the Riot shoutcasters were doing, and then you're like, I can't do that with literal strangers. Like they're on the thing, and so like you start using like finding your own shorthands and stuff like that. And so I League of Legends is a lot slower in terms of like everything going on than hockey. Hockey is basically the fastest sport, right? Like the puck moves at a speed that's like literally the fastest, and like the players tend to be in motion faster than the average. So it's like basically the fastest sport. Short of like sprints and various things like that. I should say the fastest broadcast sport.
Not basketball.
Like
Westbrook with the ball. Westbrook still dribbling.
Step back.
Westbrook still has the ball. Westbrook
stop
drives
watching Lakers
and
games.
misses.
Stop watching Lakers games. You need to watch yourself some Bucks radio. Like I got
swinging and pinging the ball.
Yeah. Oh, Paschke, Mr. Jim, retired the year we did it. Speaking of broadcast, no, I mean hockey's super fast. How the fuck do you track all that information and then go from like that to like leisurely doing Age of Sigmar? Like just painting like does it feel like it's
for one?
Does it feel like
I joined Rob for one? It was I felt like a fish out of water. It was not fun at all.
Really?
I mean, I would do it again just because I want to try and get better, but it was not my jam. Let's just say.
Yeah. I see Sean Sour's in chat. Oh shit, pucks are too small.
What? Hi, Sean. Shut up, Sean.
Right.
I love you.
Is it
I
his
love you,
birthday
Sean.
still?
Hey, it still might be his birthday. Good.
I mean, for us it is.
Still?
For us it is. Happy birthday, Sean. It counts because we're in the past.
Happy birthday.
It's your birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Glad
Happy
doesn't
birthday.
sing
It's your
you
birthday.
happy birthday in German right now.
Happy birthday.
Zum
It's your birthday.
Geburtstag viel Glück. Zum Geburtstag viel Glück. Langes Leben und
that's it? There
Gesundheit.
you go.
Zum Geburtstag viel Glück. There we go.
All I know is
made up
There you go.
Feliz
I don't
German,
but
cumpleaños or something like
It
that.
sounds legit.
It is legit. It's Russian. Oh my god.
Oh wait, Russian.
Yeah, he switched.
That was German.
I switched.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's a
Okay.
German one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I only
Basketball
Speak
greater than
English.
hockey. I mean, I agree, Sean. Even though of those two sports, I played hockey. I was a wing.
I played hockey.
I
I led
like
my
the
team in
bread
penalty minutes 3 times.
Me too.
Right. Without getting a fight. Without fighting.
I usually just hit people
Imagine
a lot.
you fighting.
Like I was a decent skater and I sucked at shooting, so I just like skated into people a bunch. And, eventually, they didn't like that.
Slashing and cross-checking. I love cross-checking.
Cross-checking. Yeah.
Wow.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Drop the guy 6'2". Boom! Hit him right across the shoulder blades.
Look, they don't catch all of them. Okay. Let's be said, hockey's very fast.
I'm disgusted.
That's it. Cumpleaños feliz. Cumpleaños feliz.
Oh yeah.
40K.
Ridiculous.
Why Sean
Right.
came in here and he's talking bad
40K?
about me?
Ooh.
I said 40K.
My beer's gone.
Okay.
So
I'll drink to that.
I'm all ultra'd out.
What's up, Lulu?
I think I gotta cut loose soon.
I
gotta go teach the kids tomorrow. You know, we're still learning about percents lower than 1% and percents higher than 100%.
Ooh.
And like to see their faces when you go that you can say that you can find 138% of a number and their minds just go.
What grade?
Yeah. Grade 7's nuts.
Actually, 8th grade.
Grade 8.
Eighth grade for our American listeners. That would be year 8 for the UK listeners, and I don't even know if they have school in Australia. So
I don't think so. I think they just go and play with kangaroos all day, and
I think they fight the kangaroos.
yeah, that's what their schooling is.
Yeah,
they like
take that, Sean.
Well, he's officially Australian now too. So congrats on that. Yeah,
so happy for him.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, enjoy your spring, you prick.
His kids are beautiful. He has such a beautiful family.
Beautiful.
His painting is very beautiful
life.
Too.
See, middle school for me was like just actually the worst one. That was when the teachers told me not to go into any of my dream jobs.
That's pretty early to be telling someone not
to be crushing somebody. Yeah.
I kind of wish a teacher had been like, "Hey, let's talk about salary and like paying your credit card bills and real things." Because everybody to me was like, "Yeah, follow your dreams, go be a journalist." And I was like, "Yeah," and now.
Yeah,
started working at the CBC.
See, I saw Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas in middle school. I was a rebel kid, a little bit older, yada yada, in interest.
Nicole, my son's about to graduate with a degree in theater from university, so
he's gonna do great things. It's gonna be great for him.
Yeah, well, you know what? Do it now while you're a kid. I wish I would have done a theater degree. It's so much fun.
I bet he's having the time of his life.
If someone teaches them to YouTube or whatever the future of YouTube is, like there's more value in theater than there is in some other gigs. Like the bulk of the new careers right now, are not, they didn't exist when we were kids, and a lot of them have to do with like YouTube, social media, like branding, managers, all kinds of like just crazy shit that you didn't think would be useful. This is why like
being able to talk in front of people and doing presentations and stuff.
Like that kind of, how do you spin it? Yeah, like the future of Amazon and McDonald's, like the Fortune 500 companies. They're going to have people doing like TikTok advertisements and shit, right? Like being able to connect with people is a great skill, regardless of how you spin it. But in middle school, I wanted my dream, and my dream still secretly is, but I've just moved it to retirement instead, was to drive around the country in a Scooby-Doo van, like being a journalist. And I think I can still make that happen.
The Mystery Machine?
Yeah! Fucking VW bus.
It's not too late. You just need a crew.
I just need money and be independently wealthy, and then I can do that, and it doesn't matter. This is why UBI.
Big hold up.
This is why UBI is super important, because then people can actually follow their dreams and still be productive members of society because they have capital that they're reinvesting and stuff like that.
My dream is to tour the United States during the summer, pulling a camper trailer and going to Warhammer tournaments.
You mentioned this actually.
You're gonna do it, and if you don't, you and Tina are just gonna come back here.
Good.
Yeah, that's right.
Come to the Midwest. I'll buy you a Michelob Ultra. Apparently.
Yeah. Well, it's because I gotta keep this.
The hockey physique. Yeah.
It's the Ontario vibe.
All right. Now that we're moving into the sort of like final portion of the show, I'm gonna ask you actual Age of Sigmar questions. Okay.
All right.
Oh shit!
Are these like rapid fire?
What do you think of AOS 3.0?
Crossfire.
Just broadly. There you go.
Okay. Sorry.
What?
He said something and then Tristan hit his mic.
This is way funnier. I'm sorry. AOS
What do
3.0.
you think of
No,
AOS
no, no.
3.0?
Yeah.
Nicole, go.
Fuck. It's a lot.
It's a lot. No, I
I'll
love
say
this.
that. Here it is. As a new person to the hobby, as a woman to the woman
No.
factor doesn't matter. It's a lot. Like I feel like I was just wrapping my head around 2 and like figuring shit out, and then they're like, "Ooh, hey, here's all these new rules. Now you got to pick battle tactics. You got to pick grand strategies." It's a lot, but I think I like it. But it takes more time. There's a lot more. I feel like there's more to, and I don't know if this is 3.0 or just me finally figuring shit out, sort of, as a player. But like, there's a lot more prep work to just like starting a game.
I get that.
You know?
Kicker, I gave you an opportunity, dude. You too, Tristan. You both dropped the ball. A bot showed up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was listening to the person talking. My bad. Jeez.
This is the difficult part
weird.
of live streaming. No, I've actually wanted the sort of like newer player perspective for a while. Because like I've had as players who have played AOS for a while, yeah, okay, you have to like unlearn some stuff, right? And then like learn some new stuff. And there is a challenge to that. Like I don't want to take anything away from like people having to like sort of reset. But I really wonder if jumping into like say 2.0 versus 3.0, if 3.0 does feel like more daunting, you know.
It does.
And I think you just answered that because you new player in 2.0, like your perspective is the exact perspective I've been wondering about for a while. Like you can compare and contrast the two experiences in yourself. Is that a bad thing? Right? It's more daunting, but daunting isn't the same thing as bad.
I don't know if it's a bad thing. It's just a trickier thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the game as a whole is intimidating, I think, no matter what version of it you're playing. There's a lot more to 3.0, but I think it also makes the game cooler and more well-rounded. So I'm not opposed to all the things that are happening in 3.0. There's just a lot more to think about.
Right.
But I think it's good stuff to think about.
That's fair.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Bud.
So, I would agree with what Nicole said. Like, there's because I teach I'll teach Warhammer to a lot of people. I'll teach to like students in my school. I'll teach them how to play Age of Sigmar, and so I feel like there's a lot for them to. Oh, is there another bot? I feel like there's a lot to teach to get them started in the game. But I really like the new scoring. The fact that there's a lot more ways to score in the game, beyond just the scenarios, and that like for me, like I lose focus really quickly, like at the best of times. But to have like that ways to interact in my players in my opponent's turn, I think has made the game more interesting for me.
Unless you're not a Bone Reapers player.
Yeah, who likes that?
No, I mean, legit. I like the interactivity of it all, personally speaking, and I like the scoring. Do you think that there's going to be sort of like a puzzle solved eventually with the different types of scoring, where like it becomes like rote, it becomes automatic that like I pick this tactic this round,
That's called Sons. Sons of Bahamut. Like I think with any addition, with any change, someone's gonna figure out some way to, like, someone's gonna solve the puzzle. Like that happens. I'm not one of those people, so don't ever follow my lists or my strategy talk, because I'm like, whoa, you can do that? That's a thing? What? Kairos, when he changes the dice, it's unmodifiable? I did not know. I played a whole tournament not knowing that.
There you go.
So
follow Party at the All
I mean,
Points for more great content like this.
yeah, follow Party at the All Points. Basically, my content is I do the intro song, And there we go.
That's
That's
the
not true.
best part, though. The
Okay.
best.
But I
part.
want to hear Tristan's views on
Yeah,
AOS
Tristan.
3.
Good job, host.
Thanks.
For me, I like definitely echo what you guys are saying, like the different ways of scoring, how it is a lot. I know I've felt with AOS 3, getting that little bit of prep beforehand makes it so you get to enjoy the game a lot more, and there's just a lot more game
I like
to
the prep
enjoy.
take. I like the prep take. That's a good one.
So for me, I've only played like probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 games of
But you did host a
AOS 3
tournament.
so far. That's true. And with that, I like every time I played a game, I was like, okay, what am I having problems remembering? What's been like my challenges? And then whenever I hosted that tournament, it was for newer players or for people who haven't played that much, or it's like it's going to be their first games of AOS 3. What can I do to make their lives easier? And because I was thinking about that the times that I was playing, it made it so it was a lot easier for those people to wrap their head around AOS 3. So like had the Honest Wargamer score sheets, which were huge to help out
You
people.
can't play with. I don't know how you play without that score sheet.
I don't know either, man. Like having that laid out, and then there's a really great Austin Weird Knobs cheat sheet. So there's this the Austin Weird Knobs are like a gaming group down in Austin, Texas. They did up this great little cheat sheet that's kind of like the list of like how the turn goes. And so I printed off one of those, had score sheets, and then got everybody to print off their own AOS reminders. So then they had
Davis
like
Sword.
specifically to their army what their army did. And then it had the basic run of the turn. And then it also had the like, okay, this is how we're scoring. And that made it so people who had never played AOS or a tabletop game were able to wrap their heads around stuff.
Right.
Like my guy Roger, who just started playing, like his very first game of AOS or anything on a tabletop was that tournament, and he ended up going 2-1.
Not bad.
And he won his first game, and he was like, he's dove into it hard, but like he'd never played a game before. There's a lot to keep track of. All
And
the
3,
battle
3.0,
tactics.
yeah, ton. Yeah, just
Yeah,
it's
and
such a big game now. Like it feels like
it is, yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Again, I don't think that's
call it a
bad
broad game.
Thing bad, thing good's not the take, but like it's a very big game now. It's very broad. Yeah, broad, robust.
Yeah, broad is the way I think about it, because I feel like it's a lot of things of a similar type almost. At least in my head, I feel like I'm looking at a list of things that are going from left to right. I have to make sure I knock them all down. It's not so much like a big scroll of things. Like that's, I don't know, the way that I think about things isn't the same as a lot of people. I've been told that my whole life in good and bad ways. But for me, 40K drink feels more like a game that is on a long scroll. It's kind of like Star Wars, where
it also feels
kind of
ticky
going
tacky.
by you.
It also feels very ticky tacky.
100%. Like there's way too many gotchas. And then AOS, I feel like it's more of
Is
a
that a shard?
panoramic view.
Is that a shard there? Or
Pinot
Gris?
What are you drinking, Nicole?
It's a blend.
Okay.
It's from Creston, BC.
Nice.
Represent the
cuteness. The cuteness.
It's delightful.
It's delightful. When a white wine
It's delightful. That's
it's
all
delightful.
that matters.
Yeah, right on.
There you go.
Delightful.
Fine.
All right. So
yeah.
Who has the best
I'm a fan of
intro
AOS.
in AOS podcasts, and why is it Party at the All Points?
Because it's Tristan.
I meant the song. Did you?
Meant the
But you
song.
sang
Meant
the Age of Aquarius for
I
Rage
did. You
Sigmar.
thought it was Jacob Berry.
That's the real answer.
I did. I thought it like I didn't realize that he had I didn't realize he had actually like talented friends.
Oh, okay. Here's the true story of that. Here's the true story of that intro.
This is the best part.
Joe Pagano asked me if I would do an intro. He wrote out an intro. He had music for it, and I recorded it. He thought it was great. I said, hey, how about I put together a really crappy intro? I'm going to record it on the worst mic possible. I'm going to try and do it in one take, and we'll send it to
One
Jacob.
take, Chad. Oh, yeah.
We'll send it to Jacob, and we'll tell him this was the new intro we came up with. And so he sent. So that was the Age of Aquarius one. I recorded it in my empty classroom on a laptop mic, and we sent that to Jacob, and he had messaged back to Joe. He said, "What the fuck is this? I love it." And that became their intro for season 3.
In the backing vocals of your intro, Nicole, is that you doing the backing vocals?
It's not. I believe that's Tina.
That's
No.
my wife.
Or is it?
That's your wife?
It's Tina.
Yeah,
It's Tina.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
Tina.
I thought it was your daughter.
Props to her. She
No,
actually
she
she
did.
holds a key. Like,
Yeah, my daughter did so for the season 4 for Rage of Sigmar. She did the then don't listen to this podcast.
Dun, dun,
do we
dun,
need
Yeah,
to
she
start
did.
like an entire lefty podcast subsection of AOS? Like, is that something we need to consider?
start? I think it's just.
Well, I know
going.
Sig Marxism is
Yeah.
a thing.
It's already happening.
It's
Yeah.
already happening. Why didn't I
Oh,
get an
yeah.
invite? No.
No, you're fine.
I know I'm fine.
We got a collection. The corporate shills can have theirs. We can have ours.
Look,
Right.
I will shill. Raid Shadow Legends, Dollar Shave Club.
We
Get at
We
me.
are the
It is way easier to hold on to my morality when I'm getting paid. Get at me. I will
These are-
I will shill for the right company is all I'm saying, and I can be your shill. Look at
But there's a difference between corporate shills and left-leaning shills.
Oh yeah,
Huh?
and
Huh?
Modifius, please sponsor me. Thank you.
Yo
There you go.
Modifius. They're on like a little bit of like the danger zone right now for Vampire the Masquerade, which is kind of sucks, but
I want this sponsorship. Give me that epoxy sculpt
the epoxy
sponsorship.
sculpt.
Oh, okay.
So that combined with green stuff is
I want this sponsorship.
heaven.
Army painter.
Army painter.
If you could have a
I'll
sponsor,
take a
the
I'll
wine.
take a wine.
There you
I'll
go.
take a wine.
Oh,
Please.
that would be
Mini
great.
I can
Mag
do.
Bro.
Actually, there's a coffee company out there I need to contact.
Actually,
They do
any
like
of
dirty
these-
lefty like fair trade coffee. Be like,
There you go. Any of those things.
hey,
There's my Mephisto
hey,
sticker.
I'm on there.
You are.
Oh, actually, speaking of sponsorships, if you use the code MiniMagBro for
Is that legit?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
legit,
100%.
actually.
It gets you 5% off. In
Mini-
addition to whatever's on the
Five.
website.
$5.
Mini mag
Wow.
tray, right? That's awesome. All right, so now we're at the portion I call the final soapbox. This
Okay.
can be about anything
Ooh.
AOS related, hockey related, anything you want. You get one moment to stand on a digital soapbox, use my platform, and get me banned from Twitch. No, don't get me banned from Twitch. Keep it in bounds. Your final soapbox. What is it, Nicole? We'll start with you and we'll go around clockwise.
Bread? No, I'm gonna use this moment to shout out Tina and Sarah because they might not get name dropped on the podcast like I do, but they are still super supportive, super sweet Warhammer wives, and they get a shout out. So yeah, that's it. And bake some bread, and then you can talk to me about it. That's all.
If you want to hit up Nicole with all your bread that you've made, please check out Rocksteezy on Twitter.
On the
Ooh.
Twitters.
If you
She's
want.
here for bread chat.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't even know if she is. I probably shouldn't have done that. Hi.
Good.
But do
Why
you wanna
is
do it
only one-
next?
DeGaulle,
Okay, what's
are
the
you
opposite?
are you kidding? Several of us are drinking. Like, what are you-
Whoa. What's the opposite of a shout out where you call out someone?
It's a
'cause they're-
blast. Putting it on
Okay.
blast. Yeah.
All right,
My
Toronto Blue Jays. I had a great bet on Betway that was a $5 bet going to pay $121. I parlayed it with four NFL games, one of which I had already won this evening. And the Blue Jays, in the wild card race, half a game out, go and lose to the Minnesota Twins. Come on. Come on. So now I have to use another of my $5 to parlay all those great NFL bets for this weekend, which would put me down to $25 left that I'm allowed to gamble on NFL this season.
Come on, man.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Get it
all the-
together.
Yeah, my Packers better get it together here. I'm not okay with the
Oh
them
yeah,
Packers.
they're not.
Them Packers are just. I know that the Aaron Rodgers there, he bounced back with a 4-touchdown game there, hey, but I don't know.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers spent the whole offseason complaining about the Green Bay Packers, and maybe he should have just worried about
Specifically,
his right arm.
I mean, it was Mark Murphy mostly, and I guess he doesn't get along with the Goody there, Gutekunst. Old man yells at clouds. The dot section.
I love that we chased him out.
Yeah, he owns Packer stonks, as I recall. There we go. I got him back.
Oh yeah.
Like, Tristan, aren't you an owner of the Packers?
Yes.
Do you have a share, like for serious?
Yeah, 100%. 100%
For
for
real
sure.
life.
Yeah.
I love
For
that.
real life, I have NFL owner on my resume as a joke for people to ask me about whenever I apply to things.
I'm on the
But I do have a
list
share.
to buy a share. And I'm a Wisconsinite.
Get on
Yeah.
my level.
It's all right. It's
I
all
went
right.
to Lambeau. It's great.
I've never
I
been.
talked to
to
AJ Hawk. He was nice.
I've been to Arrowhead.
Hawk's good. Arrowhead's good too. That's
I
actually
saw
really-
Rich Gannon play at Arrowhead. That's going.
Wow.
That means I wasn't just cheering for the Chiefs in the last 2 years. That's going back.
Legendary Rich.
I
When
love the
John
person.
Gruden
I
was
love the
with the
guest
Raiders
yawning
first.
into the microphone on
Yeah.
the show.
Tell us
Well,
more,
to be fair,
Tristan.
Fair. It is Friday for Tristan already.
By the way, Sean, you got timed out by Tristan. I didn't respect his abusive power, so I gave you a sword too to do battle with him.
You timed
Oh,
out
what?
Sean. You timed
Yeah,
out.
you
Sean.
did
What did he
for
say?
6 seconds.
Give me
What
your
did he
free labor. Give me your free labor. Now I am a capitalist. Tristan, anything to shout out, put on blast, your digital soapbox box moment?
Let's see. It's good to have minority
Pillow.
governments during
No.
a pandemic.
Yes. Love it.
Too soon.
It's amazing how insane fascist weirdos can be.
Shout out PPC.
I love the people in my family currently saying COVID isn't a thing when my grandpa literally fucking died to it. And I'm just like, wow, bold move, Cotton. Like,
Thanks, fam.
cool. Like, my grandpa's dead. And he was also a
Fuck
denier
you
of it,
guys.
kind of. And, you know.
Oh god. Yeah, I work with a man who is very much like that. I
I mean, my grandpa was dope as shit, but he just drank the Kool-Aid. And I'm like, I can't save you, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel you. Hades Death God, I'm in Canada, and I'm in Prince Edward Island, which is very far to the right of Canada.
Not even the
Um,
East Coast. He's beyond the East Coast. There's no saving him. Like, he's drifted
Oh,
out to sea.
He's Atlantic time, but you're not in that goofy half-hour Newfie time, though.
No.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, Newfoundland has its own time zone.
And it's
It's
a
a
half
half
an
an
hour.
hour.
It's not an hour. It's a half hour.
Great.
Wow.
I
I've
love
never
it.
hit the Maritimes. One day.
Bro,
Oh, it's
Bro.
beautiful.
you gotta come over. It'll
It's
be a great time.
beautiful.
I'm gonna. I'm
Gonna
doing
be good.
it.
We have a spare room. So thing I want to shout out is This Mini Sucks on YouTube. He's super slick, and he's doing a whole bunch of Tomb Kings videos. So of course I'm a sucker. But it's like one of those things where you're like, okay, I'm gonna check this out because it has the army that I like, and then you're watching it and you just go, damn, respect to this production value. Okay. It's just like hitting all the notes of just like this guy put in the effort. I appreciate this. And I don't know, just doing good stuff. And his painting was pretty solid too, so
Right on.
big fan.
Right on.
And if you want to see a paint job that'll blow your brain out, check out Seanzor on Instagram. That's with 2 Z's, Sean, and then ZZOR, and it's so dumb.
I
Makes
sent,
you.
He's so good
You're
at
gonna
painting.
cry. It's so beautiful.
I sent Sean Hidden Valley Ranch packets from America to give him a taste of home.
That's fucking weird.
It's
saw
so
that.
That's
fucking
not
weird.
America.
It's-
I don't know what is.
America.
It's so fucking weird, but like, yeah, and Seanzor is someone living their best life, and you know, fucking respect, brother. Also, fantastic hobbyist, and suck at destruction. He's ours now. Sorry, because he's doing Soulblight Gravelords and Death stuff.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
God.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we
I
saw
didn't
get it.
get.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
did.
I
I
did.
didn't. Thanks for explaining.
Yeah.
That would have gone like right.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald proved to me explaining the joke was the best part of
Oh,
the
I
joke.
love doing that.
So
Yes, you do.
I love doing that. It's amazing.
Dude, I had ranch
Speak-
today. Look at that.
Yeah. And you make it as
Speaking of
awkward
O.J.
as
Simpson.
possible when you explain it.
Oh, and then you hammer the point home and you over explain it and what happens
Yeah.
is it gets dead quiet and then it goes all the way
Yeah.
full circle back around and that's the most hilarious point.
Yes, Mr. Kaler, we got it. No. I don't think you do.
I don't I don't think you did. No. See, because the part you laughed at was here, but the real funny part was here. All right. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Party at the All Points. Check it out. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I don't know what it was about, but I had a great conversation. We got a clip out of it. We got some life lessons. Fuck fascists. COVID's a real thing. And Chat Gang, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are the show within the show, the reason I do this thing. Remember to drink your milk, pay your taxes, be excellent to each other. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.